Hello, guys. Welcome to my live. It is great to see some old friends here. We got Lol, we got AH, we got Asif, we got Sam. Fire from within. Have you come to many lives? I haven't. I feel like I may or may not have seen your name through the voice of Maddie. Hello, and it looks to me, Maddie, like you may be a woman. Confirm or deny that, because you never know with the profile pictures. If so, it'd be amazing to have another female on the chat, as we call them here in the manosphere. Am I in the manosphere? I don't know. So, Joe asked me, favorite vegan YouTuber? Joe, are you familiar with the great Gary Yourofsky? If you're vegan, I'm sure you are. And through the voice of Maddie is another vegan. Yay. Amazing. Then Asif says, I'm good, Vic. Glad you're doing a live right now. About to go for a walk, so I'll listen in. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Very efficient and productive. Well, hopefully this live will be productive for you. AH says he's doing great kinky camping this weekend. Kinky camping? What is that, AH? Is that some kind of actual kink event? Is that something you do by yourself or with your girlfriend? Tell us about it. Crypto Geek says, just logged into YouTube to see your live stream for the first time. Always enjoyed your content. Thank you very much, Crypto Geek. Welcome to the live. It's a little different than my old videos. It can get a lot more Wild West on here, but I'm glad you're here. And usually what we do, Crypto Geek, is I'll take some questions, and then recently I've been doing tests, quizzes, pop quizzes for you all, where I grade you harshly on your responses. And hopefully we all learn a little about the female gaze, and for myself, the male gaze. Oh, Joe says Dr. John McDougall, who passed recently. Yes, I was a fan of him as well, Joe. Yeah, that was kind of shocking, wasn't it? Are you doing the McDougall diet? Sam says, got a rejection recently, but it wasn't too bad. Now isn't a good time for her to have casual sex, but she's definitely open to it. Okay, Sam. Okay, she's open to casual sex. That's a lot. So nice. Just B47 says, when men do the things. Oh, okay. Earlier part of your comment, I watched your video yesterday about how women want men to treat them in the bedroom. I wonder what women bring in this situation when men do the things that women want. All right, just be 47. I mean, if you have to ask that, like, have you had sex? Like, when a man does the things that a woman wants in the bedroom, the woman gets wet and allows the man to penetrate her, which is basically bringing himself to orgasm in probably the most pleasurable possible way. So the going rate for that, if you go to like a legal brothel, okay, it's like thousands, like probably like 2,000 bare minimum. Okay, obviously you could do it illegally as well. So that's what women bring in this situation. Okay, they're giving you an experience which is worth for free, hopefully. Okay, so yeah, I mean, men, they ask this question. It's like, yeah, what do women bring to the table? Sex. That's what they're bringing to the table. Okay, and it's very fun. It's very intimate. It's very amazing. It's fantastically like euphoric experience. But when you're like so demanding, are you even going to get the bare minimum? Are you even going to be, if you're like, well, if she doesn't act like a porn star and do A, B, C, D, E, and F, and G, like, what's in it for me? I mean, this is just a really bad attitude to go into sex with. It's like if you're unemployed and you go into the job interview thinking, what is my employer going to do for me? Will you even get a penny to rub together with your fingers? You know, before kind of trying to like maximize the situation with you and her first bring some respect into the scenario and realize that just having sex for a man is a big deal. And I'm sure you do know that, okay? So just try to be respectful, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I know it triggers a lot of people, okay, because they want it to be equal. They want to say, oh, but men and women, it should be kind of like we're both like of equal value in the bedroom. Well, the fact is you're not, okay? Especially like on a first date. So let's just see what you guys say about that. So through the voice of Maddie says, hey, I have a question for you. Have you ever had a man telepathically talk to you? I have not. Have you, Maddie? Tell us about that. Fire from Within says, it's the first live. Amazing. Fire from Within. Welcome. So through the voice of Maddie says, I absolutely am. All right, guys, we got another female in the chat. Welcome, Maddie, and feel free to voice your opinion. For example, on this last question, what do women bring to the table? Let's say a man pleases a woman in the bedroom. What is she expected to give back to him? Let's hear your take, Maddie, because I'd be very curious. Nate Maldonado says, I like your Q&As. Thank you, Nate. Lil says, yeah, it's been a while since I've seen your live. Yep, it's been quite a while since the last one. Nani says, live this early? I love it. Welcome, Nani, my star student. Welcome. Samuel Williams says, just recently broke up with a guy and is on her healing journey and is not in the right headspace to have casual sex. Well, is a woman ever going to admit she is in the headspace to have casual sex? It's rare. It's quite rare that she will admit it. That's not to say she couldn't be in the headspace to have casual sex, but yeah, this situation is a little suspicious to me, but okay. Fire from Within says, are you in America? Here it is 2:35, by the way. Okay, yes, I am in America. Yes, I'm on the East Coast right now. So AH says, I'll send you an email about it since I'm skeptical of some of your watchers. Very good, AH. Yeah, you guys can email me, my nonleatherlife@gmail.com, whatever. Just B47 says, first time here. Welcome, Just B. How did you find my videos? Which video did you find? AH says, I tried to get an appointment with you, but you didn't respond. Oh, no, AH. I'm very sorry about that. If you go to the, well, you might not want to now because maybe you're mad, you're frustrated. I don't know. But if you want to, you can just go to my Calendly link, book directly from there. And then I can't really reject you. I just have to meet you. But yeah, I'm very sorry about that. Sometimes maybe like I am not up to date on all my emails, but I feel badly about that. So if you want to, just send me another email. I'll get it set up with you, AH, because it's nothing personal against you. It's probably just stupidity on my end. Vincent Black Lighting says hello. Hello, Vincent. TLDR Generation says hello from Morocco. You popped on my feed a week ago, and since then I've been watching many of your videos. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, TLDR, because you're one of the few who seem to have liked my videos since they've been popping up on people's feeds. I've been getting a lot of hate. I know I always say that. You guys are probably like, oh, she just whines and complains all the time about the commenters. Trust me, guys. I'm so stupid because I block a lot of the worst comments, but I'm like screaming internally every day. So Vincent Black says, I'm texting a model from Belarus and your videos help me a lot. Okay, amazing. Very nice. Very nice. Hood Trophy says, thoughts on men with tats. It can be a great look. I think a lot of women agree. What do you think, Maddie? I mean, I think it's kind of a truth universally acknowledged among women. You know, tats can give a very bad boy look to a guy. So, you know, obviously people have their preferences. Like some people are obsessed. Some people couldn't really care much or don't really care much about it. But, you know, it's probably not a bad thing. So CVS says it's like 100 in Amsterdam. Well, you're in Amsterdam, CVS. Okay, that's different, right? Isn't that like the capital of the world for like legal sex work? So Fire from Within says, I hypnotized a girl recently. She went into a deep trance while listening to my voice. It must have lasted about 5 minutes. I couldn't go any further because I was with her and my friend. Wow. What an experience. How did you do it? So just B47, I'm getting plenty right now. I'm just curious about whether things change. All right. Well, you can elaborate on it more if you want, just being give us more clarity. So through the voice of Maddie says, yes, I have a twin flame pimp, and he teaches me how to be his queen. What? What is this? What does this mean? Do you literally have a pimp, or is this some? You're blowing my mind. Oh God, you're funny. Are you serious? Vincent Blacklighting says, it's refreshing to hear these honest takes from a woman. You're very self-aware. Much appreciated. Well, Vincent Blacklighting, I will tell you something, okay? In the spirit of honesty, I don't like when people say self-aware, because that almost implies like, if only women were self-aware, they would just become a dating coach. No, you kind of need some specialized knowledge for it. You need a lot of experience, which I have, and it's not really fair to say women are being dishonest if they're not able to tell you exactly how they want to be fucked or whatever, because, you know, most people, men and women, are very uneducated about sexuality, their own sexuality, their likes. It's very taboo. There's a lot of stigma. So to just say, oh, well, if they were dishonest, why do women lie? They're dishonest. I'm not saying you're saying that, but it kind of is implied a little bit. And also, if you could just be more self-aware, if women were just more self-aware, they'd like give men all the answers. I mean, it kind of devalues like the experience I have had as well. Just say, no, you don't actually have any experience or knowledge or thoughts or, you know, ideas of your own. You're just self-aware. You just looked within through your natural self-awareness and it popped out of you fully formed. No, it took a lot of work and experiences to come up with these things. So it just annoys me. Tarek says, is it unattractive for women if they find that the man is 23 years old, but he never had a relationship? Well, 23 years old, you're still pretty young. I mean, there's probably quite a few people at 23 years old who haven't had a relationship. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not probably that rare at 23 years old. If you're getting up to like 30 years old, it will kind of be more of like, whoa, why not? And the women will probably try to understand more, you know, is there something wrong with this dude? Like, but at 23, I don't think it seems that out of the norm. So I don't think people are going to be thinking too seriously about why not. What do you guys think? Through the victim of Maddie says, however, I have been abused by the healthcare industry to become a victim of sex trafficking. Should I be like calling the police? Voice of Maddie? Like, please let me know. Do I have to report this? Email me if you need help, because I'm not sure if this is you're trolling me or this is real or what, but I also says, hey, any update on the Shane Dawson lady a few months ago? I'm not sure what you mean by the Shane Dawson lady, but it could be the evil lady who was trying to sue me. I'm not sure. The Gilded Age Phoenix says, so why don't you like leather? Well, as vegans can attest, leather is the skins of murdered animals who didn't want to die. It's very weird, in my opinion, to wear leather because I'm a vegan. So I wouldn't wear like human skin. I don't wear animal skin either. So that's kind of my non-leather life. Jimmy Dare says, tell a truth bomb, please. Okay, somebody give me something and I'll bomb them. Well, truth bomb, guys. Hopefully YouTube doesn't censor me for that. Samuel Williams says, she said that casual sex is great and it's an important part of life. The response she gave after shooting my shot was a paragraph, so her response was genuine. Wow, Samuel Williams, it's great. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So AH says, no, I'm not mad at all. It's probably on my end because my email was pretty rambling. Oh, okay. Yep. Sometimes you gotta be direct. Otherwise, am I just skim it and miss something? Russell Cameron Thomas. Hi, Vic. Hello, Russell Cameron Thomas. CBS says, even in America, it's only a few hundred. Well, I'm talking about a legal brothel. Okay, I'm talking about somewhere legal sex work, and that's only available basically in Nevada, right? So, fire from within. He started training hypnosis with a friend. Okay. So Hednise says, early one today. Yes, it is. Ozem says, women aren't better than men. We're equal. However, women are more important to society as they carry the child. Which island's population would grow faster? 10 men and 1 woman, or 1 man and 10 women? Indeed. Well, at least for that last sentence. Tarek says, unrelated question. Are you religious? If yes, what religion do you believe in? No, I am definitely not religious in any way, shape, or form, Tarek. I am not. I do not believe in any of them. Just Way says, I don't wear leather either. I don't support products where animals that didn't want to die are murdered. You vegan too, Just Way? Yes, I completely agree with you. Jean-Luc says, what happens when a woman constantly looks away every time she walks past you? Okay, Jean-Luc, this is a very common question, okay, among men. I get this so often. It was very surprising to me. You guys do not understand the level of fear women walk around with when it comes to men. Like, you guys remember the whole man versus bear situation, right? And all the men were shocked. They were like, what? A bear versus me? I'm a nice guy, okay? Well, that's because it's kind of like making the point that men don't understand the level of anxiety, fear, the hypermasculinity bias they're projecting on men. Women don't have like an accurate picture of men, okay? They don't know your insecurities. They don't know your fears. They don't know your anxieties. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't know how insecure you are. They don't know you're having low self-esteem, and you'd really appreciate that, if they just looked at you and smiled. Okay, they're afraid of you. They're afraid of being stalked. They're afraid of being judged. They're afraid of being leading you on, and you come in after them. So they don't want to give men like a direct gaze, because lots of women have had the experience. When they do that, the man makes a beeline for them, tries to talk to them, okay, and they feel scared, they feel nervous. So most women just avoid eye contact with men because they kind of have like a level of fear about men. They don't want to lead guys on. They don't want to suggest that they're interested in guys. They don't want to feel kind of like the sexual like fear around men, basically. So they just avoid eye contact. It has nothing to do with like, you're ugly, you're not good enough. She doesn't like you. She doesn't like the looks of you. She's being rude. This is just very typical female behavior, okay? If a woman looked at every guy she passed on the street and smiled, what do you guys think would happen? That guy would think, oh, she wants to fuck me. She was giving me the green light. Perfect. I mean, not every guy would have the courage to go over and talk to her, but it would be more than the average, because they would interpret it as, she gave me the green light. She's interested in me. I have a chance with her. She's welcoming me. She's not going to reject me harshly, perhaps. So that's why. So it has nothing to do with you. Don't take it personally. Does that make sense, Jean-Luc? Okay. Sup Dog super chatted me. Thank you so much, Sup Dog. And he says, best way to move forward with a girl that has doubts due to past relationships. How do I get past the stage and genuinely help her? Okay, Sup Dog. So first thing, okay, I wish you could tell me like a little bit more, but I wouldn't take this too seriously, okay? A girl who is saying she has doubts due to past relationships. Okay. I mean, if anything, in my opinion, it's probably like a way to get you to invest in her more. I'm not saying she's lying or trying to manipulate you, but it's kind of like a subconscious thing. It's like just basically saying, I'm not sure about men anymore. Like, I've been hurt in the past. I've been in a relationship. I've been in like toxic situations. I've been cheated on. I'm just not sure. It's basically saying, prove to me that I'm safe with you and that you're going to be a good boyfriend for me. It's not like, oh, and now I'm just in casual sex mode and I just want to fuck guys and I never want to be in a relationship again. No, she wants a relationship. Okay. So don't take it so seriously, like, oh, she's never going to get in a relationship with anyone else. She wants one. Okay. So how do you get past this stage and genuinely help her? First of all, I wouldn't honestly take this like, oh, she needs help. This is just very typical. This is just basically like what all women are going to say. Like, I haven't been treated like, if you just watch The Bachelor, okay? Every single bachelorette on there gives the same story. I haven't been treated well by guys in the past. I have fears about my past relationship. It's like, yeah. Like every single girl has that. So I wouldn't treat this any differently. I mean, I don't know the exact situation, so maybe it is like extreme trauma or abuse or something, or domestic violence, or it could be something really bad, right? But I wouldn't like take it so serious, like, oh, I have to help her like recover from this trauma. Every girl has had bad relationships, okay? So how do you help get her past this stage? Doing all the normal things that you would be doing. I mean, developing trust, developing safety, take her on dates, developing sexual chemistry. It depends like how traumatized she is, but doing escalating, kissing, making out, having sex, like talking on the phone, texting, all the normal things are still going to apply, is my point. Sup dog. Do you know what I mean? And the important thing is that you don't freak out and take this so seriously, like, oh my God, like she's never gonna get in a relationship. She fucking wants a relationship, no doubt. Okay. And she probably wants it with you. So if you just stick in there, it's probably gonna happen. Okay. Unless she really just doesn't feel sure about you and she's kind of like using this as an excuse, then you're really gonna have to convince her a little bit more. But the way you're going to convince her is just by doing all the normal dating etiquette, doing the right things, but kind of sticking it out for the long haul with her. Does that make sense, Sup Dog? Let me know. So, Josue, thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate it. And he says, when I look into a woman's eyes and hold that gaze, it almost always translates into confidence. I'm holding a gaze and not a creepy stare. Well, that makes sense to me, Josue, just because, yeah, I mean, if a woman's holding your gaze, that is rare, and it is a sign that, she probably feels something. She probably, not always, but might think you're, attractive, feels maybe some chemistry going on there. So when you say it translates into confidence, no wonder, right? Because, that's probably a good sign. And just the gaze and not the creepy stare, very good, very good. Because if she's, holding eye contact, it's a very good sign. It's probably not going to be intended as creepy, because if, a woman really thinks you're creepy, she's probably not going to want to hold your gaze. She's probably going to try to avoid eye contact and give you a look that's more like, ew. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree. And thank you so much for super chat. So, okay. So, all right, let's go to the next question. So, John-Luc says, interesting. Thanks for the explanation. Okay, did it made sense to you, John-Luc? Very good, Samuel Williams. Just see what happens. Stay friendly. Hey, Eric G. That's a great question, ADMG Volley. What kind of shame do women feel that men don't feel / understand, and vice versa? One that comes to mind Although I think like to some extent men do feel it. Okay. But I feel like women probably feel it more intensely. Okay. It's like body shame. Okay. Because like from a young age, women are like heavily scrutinized for their body. It's a very, very big deal. Okay. So many women have been like fat shamed. They've been body shamed. They've been shamed by like every single, magazine they've ever read, or, just seeing like, I mean, that's kind of what it was when I grew up. Now I'm sure like social media probably has some horrible effect as well, but I didn't like grow up with it like the Gen Zers are. But I don't think men really get it like in the bedroom. If they did, I think they would do more to compliment and kind of like reassure and kind of nurture women in the bedroom. Another shame, and I know men do feel body shame. Like I know tons of men feel like I'm ugly and I'm short, or I'm like too thin or whatever. I should have more muscle. But I just don't think it's really to the same extent. I mean, women have been looks maxing, the most of them, not all of them, okay? But most of them have been looks maxing from like age 2. You know what I'm saying? So it's just all pervasive and it's very deeply ingrained. There's probably not like a woman alive who doesn't understand body shame. And I think there's many men out there who, for whatever reason, are very confident in their bodies. Okay. And of course, some aren't. Okay. But I just feel like it's more of a woman thing. You guys can tell me what you think. And then, of course, there's the shame about their sexuality. Okay. Yes, men feel a lot of shame about their sexuality too. Okay. But it's kind of in a different way. All right. For women, there's like this stigma around female sexuality. Okay. They hear all the people. I mean, first of all, if you grew up religious, you're screwed as a woman. I mean, luckily I didn't. Okay. But I still had a lot of sexual shame. They basically tell you, basically that like female sexuality is wrong. You can only do it with like your husband. You should stay a virgin, cover up because you're tempting men. Like there's so many gross messages that are just kind of contributing to this message that sex is wrong, sex is dirty, sex is disgusting. A woman who likes sex is bad. A woman who is promiscuous is bad. A woman who is sexual is bad. Women should be modest. Women should be meek. Women should be submissive. Okay. Well, this is a great way to just crush somebody's true sexuality. Okay. Because in order to express your true sexuality, you have to be okay saying, yeah, I like sex. This is what I like sexually. This is what I'm into. These are my kinks. Like, I think it's fucking hot. If you don't do it for me in the bedroom, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to make it happen for myself. So if you can't say these kind of things like with no shame, good luck in the bedroom. Good luck ever having an orgasm. Good luck ever having good sex. And a lot of women, it's just bombardment about like how sex is wrong and liking sex is wrong. Keep your body count down. And a lot of women don't understand where that's coming from. They don't understand like the insecurity of men, in my opinion, that like perpetuates these messages. Okay? All they understand is, wow, this is what everyone's saying. So they feel, there's just huge stigma about female sexuality. I mean, even I've been telling you guys, read the book Becoming Clitorate. It's a fantastic book. And it kind of understands the even more fundamental problem that sex itself is not really set up for women to have orgasms. And yet we define it kind of like centered around what a man would do to have an orgasm: penetration. Okay, women come from like clitoral stimulation. So most women are like ashamed to stimulate their genitals during sex. Like, how fucked up is that, guys? Like, just let that sink in. Like, imagine if every time you had sex, you never stimulated your dick. Okay. Well, that's what it's like for most women because of this insane sexual stigma and shame. So, yeah, that's another way that women have shame that men don't have. Okay. Women also have shame for basically like sticking up for themselves a lot of times, being assertive. I know it's not the same in every culture. Like this is like a stereotypical white woman thing. Okay. But perhaps it applies in other cultures as well. But just for white women, I'll speak for them or whatever. You know, they have shame about kind of like asserting their needs, and they're like people pleasers, and they're kind of feel like I should be kind and I should put others before myself, and it's my job to take care of others. And they have shame about kind of like standing up for themselves, being assertive, being blunt. There's a lot of stuff like that. So anyway, it's a great question. But all right, Russell Cameron Thomas super chatted me. Thank you so much, Russell Cameron Thomas. And he says, news. Sharing romantic/erotic energy mutual with a younger woman, 45 versus me, 66, in my dance community. Her marriage is ending, will take a while. Who knows what's next, but enjoying attention plus process. Amazing, Russell Cameron Thomas. That is incredible. I am very, very happy for you. That sounds really fun. She's in your dance community, and you've been sharing romantic/erotic energy with her. That's awesome. Okay. It's wonderful. Congratulations, and please do keep me updated. And tell us more. What kind of romantic and erotic energy has been transpiring between the two of you? Thank you so much again, Russell Cameron Thomas. So, all right. Javier says, those same women that constantly look away when they're in the presence of a man that they're attracted to are the same ones that complain that the men they want don't approach her. Crying, laughing emoji. Yeah, let's all crying, laughing at them, okay, for being deathly afraid of men. Let's laugh at them for that. They probably don't have any reason for being scared of men. They're probably just stupid and crazy, right, Javier? All right, Nani, we're going to get to that quiz, okay? And then Subdog says, in the future, we can do a one-on-one session. I can tell you more about the situation. I would love that, Subdog. My Calendly link I put in the descriptions, and also the description of this live in case you want one. So an odd dejected dissident says, also, I saw your comment about Gary Yourofsky, and he's the reason why I went vegan too back in 2015. Anyhow, you make really cool content in specific matters, dating, sexuality, and whatnot. Amazing. And odd dejected dissident, another super fan of Gary Yourofsky. I love it. Okay, I actually I try to link to all his videos in the description of my videos. Well, not all his videos, but some, like one of his videos per one of my videos, basically, because they're so good. He's just awesome, isn't he? Absolutely love him. Yeah. So then let's see where we are in the chat. Fodrum says, what is your opinion on girls that like men 20 plus years older than them at the moment they are 20? I get it, okay? They got some kind of provider kink. They got some DDLG kink. I'm not saying it's a huge portion of the population, but they are out there in small numbers, in my opinion. So that's good for guys who are older and want to date younger women. So then Black Deer says, what are some subtle differences between being persistent/dominant/making women feel wanted and being needy, pushy, desperate? How to be former without falling into the latter? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. And I'm like, so many different screenshots, which I like to bring up in my live, are coming to mind because I'm like, oh my gosh, I've seen so many examples of this. But what is the underlying principle? It's a great question. So, yeah, I mean, basically, I guess one good way to approach it is to literally not be needy, pushy, desperate. And the only way you can do that is by basically going out there and talking to women, by actually asking enough women out that you actually have options, by actually optimizing your online dating profile photos and your online dating profiles so that you are actually getting matches, so that by getting dating coaching, so that you don't feel desperate if one woman happens to like you. You know what I'm saying? Because you can only fake it for so long before you kind of just like crack. You know what I'm saying? So if you actually do the work, that you kind of do feel like, okay, this girl's not seeming to really respond. That's okay. Instead of lashing out at her and saying, well, you're a fucking bitch anyway, you fat whale, or whatever people are saying, or I didn't need you anyway, I'm the prize, or, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question. Hello, hello, why didn't you answer? Oh, it seems you are dating other guys. I'm out. And all these crazy things that guys do when they actually are desperate. You can just say nothing and move on to the next girl. Or be like, well, I'm going out this weekend anyway, and I'm going to force myself to talk to like 10 women and ask for their numbers. So, do you know what I mean? That will actually help, because when it's not the end of the world, this is not the last time, this is not my last chance to have sex, you're not going to be needy, pushy, and desperate. You know what I mean? So I think that's one way, at least, to think about it. What do you think, Black Deer? So Peter says, I've observed that women feel more comfortable speaking on behalf of all women than men do of other men. Do women have a stronger sense of shared experience than men do? I mean, I don't know, because I don't even really necessarily agree with that. But let's say you're correct, okay? Perhaps it's because men are always saying like women are so crazy and we don't understand women. Women make no sense. I get dozens and dozens of comments like this on my channel where it's just like, yeah, because women don't know what they want. They don't understand themselves. There's all this like crazy rantings out there where men are saying that. And as a woman, you're like, why the fuck are men always telling us we don't make sense? We're illogical. Like, it's quite simple. It's very logical. I almost feel like there's more willing blindness. I don't know. Okay, maybe that's not fair to say, but there's a lot of willing blindness on men's part. Okay, and there's a lot of men out there who actually are trying to learn about women, so I don't want to discount them, because trust me, there's probably more of those guys than there are women. But perhaps that's probably why women feel like they have to explain it to men, because it's like, are you fucking kidding me? It's really simple. Okay, we make sense. Stop calling us crazy. Stop calling us illogical. Like, if you just freaking listen for 1 second, you could understand that every single woman gets it. Why can't you? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying they do a wonderful job explaining it or whatever, but that might be the impulse why they're speaking on behalf of all women, because there's such a strong, what's the word? Annoying message out there in society that women are just like emotional and don't make sense. It probably irritates women. And they're like, we make sense. Because like earlier in my youth, when guys would say they don't understand women, I was really, really confused by that. I was like, what are you talking about? What is hard to understand? I mean, I grew up with all sisters, basically around all women. I never experienced one thing women did that didn't make sense to me. I'm like, everything they do is simple. So it was baffling to me how confused men are about women. Now that I understand men better, I understand their common confusions and why they're confused. Okay, because I didn't understand just how different kind of like the messages men get are, the way men are raised is, male culture, and how they're thinking about things. Once I understood that, and then understand they're assuming women are thinking just like them, I realized, wow, no wonder they don't get it. Okay. But that's my guess. So Fire from Within says, how can someone approach one in a very small social circle? Do you mean approach somebody in a small social circle, or just the fact that you don't have a lot of friends to go out with, or can you could go out by yourself and like, I, yeah, I mean, I used to go out to clubs like alone. Like you could do that, but tell me more about what you're thinking. So then Nani super chatted me. Thank you so much, Nani. He says, I went to the flea market this past weekend and met a girl at her stand. She was 19, very sweet and cool. And she told me guys her age are stupid, lol. Oh, nice, Nani. Seems like you were talking it up with this girl at the flea market at her stand. Did you get her number? I hope so. And she told me guys her age are stupid, lol. Yes, that is how most girls think about guys. They're kind of like, what is wrong with men? Why are men? Are men okay? Why don't they get it? We make total sense. How are they not picking up on this? That's how most girls think about it. And they just are kind of like, are men stupid? Like, they really don't know. It's very confusing to them. So, yeah, they don't understand where men are coming from. That's for sure. But that's great, Nani. You're talking to girls wherever you go, talking to them at the flea market. Wonderful. Sounds wonderful. And thank you so much for your super chat. So, Whitney says, my girlfriend has some interest in bringing another girl into the bedroom. This is my fantasy, but I've read so many stories about threesomes destroying relationships. How can I navigate this so we both have fun? Yes. Well, I've had 3 threesome experiences with another girl. The first one, it did kind of destroy the relationship. The second one, it was just like fun. And the third one, it was also fun. But the second and the third, I did kind of in like public settings, basically. So, yeah, I've experienced it going both ways. Okay. So, how can you navigate it so you both have fun? Well, could you try going to like a sex club or a swingers club or a legal sex worker? Because then it can keep it kind of very like you're not friends really with this person. It's just like purely sexual. That's one way I feel like it can be. You're both in the right headspace going in. Like this isn't someone, you know what I'm saying? That's my suggestion, Whitney. And Whitney, are you a girl or, because I know Whitney can be boy and girl name, but it sounds like you might be a girl too. So very cool. Let me know. But yeah, the first one went horribly wrong. I never talked to the guy again after that. So Fodrum says, is having a lot of friends, but well, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Fodrum says, is having a lot of friends attractive to women? It can be, okay, because it shows like you're social and you got social skills. And I'd say in general it is, okay. Although once you're in a relationship, they can kind of get jealous of the friends and be like, oh, you like your friends better than me. You spend all the time with your friends. But I would say in general, I would agree. What do you guys think? Freedom Fox 1 says, both sexes get judged based on looks, but women, its societal importance is far greater. Yes, I agree. Well said. Isaiah says, men just want to control your sexuality, lol, but I'm so enjoying your point of view. Thank you, Isaiah. Now, was the first part sarcasm? Let me know. So David says, would you write a book about this? I think you could add, it would be really good. Thanks, David. I will consider it. Samuel77 says, I saw viral TikToks of girls saying guys telling his girlfriend what to wear or not to talk to guys is a red flag, but other TikToks saying that guys letting her dress, however, / talk to other guys is pathetic, which is correct. Okay, that's a great question, Samuel. Okay. All right. There's many ways to like understand this question. One way you could think of it is like sex brain and normal brain. Okay. Another way you could think of it is like some girls have more of a desire for a possessive, toxic kinky guy, basically. Okay. Those are the girls who are going to be talking about how they want to be submissive. They want, this provider dude. They kind of have more of a fantasy. They're trying to get met in an unhealthy way, in my opinion, in the real world. But hey, who am I to judge? Who am I kidding? I judge all the time, right? But those girls are going to want a guy who is more possessive, who is a little more toxic, a little more controlling, a little more jealous. A lot of times, like girls who've been raised like religious, or that's kind of their culture, like sometimes I'll get on like, Muslim TikTok or something, or like Middle East TikTok somehow. And I see a lot of girls like talking like this, like they're probably used to it. They find it, that's kind of their kink. They like guys who are like that. Okay. Other girls, they're more, I guess, modern. They want a more equitable relationship, but they still might like it, in the bedroom as a sexual kink with someone they trust. Okay. So there's kind of like a range. There's like people who are sex positive and might like kink in the bedroom. And then there's people who don't even know what kink is. They just live kink because they don't understand there's like a safe way to get like kink. They just think, oh, well, I'll just marry some kind of like controlling, jealous guy because that's sexually appealing to me. Rather than the other girls who are saying, I want to feel safe, I want to feel respected, I want to feel equal, but in the bedroom, maybe I'll explore some of this like toxic, like abusive dynamic. So, do you know what I'm saying? So for most girls, yeah, it's going to come off really controlling and it's going to come off as a red flag. Some girls are okay with that. They are looking for a guy who is going to be a dom in life, not just in the bedroom. Do I think it's a good idea? No, I don't. But they'll learn soon enough, okay? In my opinion. Or maybe they won't and they'll get trapped in some like actually abusive relationship. Okay? But they kind of have like a drive. It's like, oh, I think it's hot, but they don't kind of have like modern views about like, wow, maybe I could have the best of both worlds. Maybe I could like be respected and still get some of that thrill from my kink. A lot of them just think, that's what I find sexually appealing. That's what my culture has taught me. That's what my dad was like. That's what my uncle was like. So, yeah, I guess I'll put up with it, basically. I'll put up with the bad with the good. And they're kind of in for that dangerous thrill ride. Do you know what I'm saying? So does that make sense, Samuel? Thomas says, hey, Victoria, it just seems like there's something wrong going on here. I'm not complaining or trying to blame your anatomy, but either there's something goofy with sex evolution or what. What are you trying to imply, Thomas? Do I have to block you? Lisa says, hi, Victoria. Hi, Lisa. Welcome, Lisa. We got Lisa in the chat. Wonderful. I don't know if she's still here because I kind of was like farther up in the chat, but she is a woman. You guys ask her opinion, ask her question, and I will be doing so as well when I remember. So, hey, we got JB Weld. Thank you so much, JB Weld, for your super chat. He says, guys that are nerdy as fuck and are into kink and try to act alpha around others just come off super awkward. I shut down a guy at work who's into kink hard one time in front of others, lol. Well, JB, sounds like kind of an epic moment at work, so good job on that. I trust you that he deserved it, okay? But I haven't really met many of these people. They're nerdy as fuck and into kink. Yes, I've met a lot. But they try to act alpha around others. I feel like the guys who I've met who are nerdy and into kink, they're usually pretty humble, so I haven't seen them really trying to act like the, one true dom, as they say in the kink community. And I can imagine it would come off as super awkward. So good for you. I'm guessing, JB, you put him in his place. Wonderful. And thank you so much for the super chat. So Seven Sun says, do women know it's hard to be intimate with them when we know they tell their friends and coworkers everything? I keep certain private things to myself because they talk too much. Nope, I don't think they know that. Chris says, men don't do everything based on emotions. Newsflash and truth bomb for you, Chris. Neither do women. Okay, read the book Thinking Fast and Thinking Slow, please. Vincent Black says, there are things about women that are hard to understand for men, just like there are things about men that are hard to understand for women. Exactly. Oh, no, not the emotional beings fallacy yet again. For example, women are more driven by emotions and men try to explain that with logic. That's not how it works. I agree. That's not how it works. That's the emotional beings fallacy. Okay. So Nani says, LMAO, now she was too young for me. 19 is too much, but she was sweet and very mature for her age, but too young, lol. Always a gentleman, Nani. Always a gentleman. Well, it's great that you were practicing chatting up a girl, having a great conversation with her. Wonderful. So, all right, guys, we're getting to... Tarek says, how much does height matter to women, you think? It matters, Tarek, to a lot of women. Not to all, but it's definitely something they consider in a big way. So you are at a disadvantage, unfortunately, if you're not tall. But it's not impossible, okay? But you may have to compensate in all the other areas with your looks and other things. Unfortunately, the heightism is very real. Hello, back to one. Hello, be what it is. Okay. Chuck E. Chanley, you don't think women are more emotional? No, I don't. I think men and women, they're differently emotional. They're emotional about different things, but in general, no, women are not more emotional. They will hide behind that as an excuse because you guys basically tell them that all the time, and they're like, okay, fine. You think I'm more emotional? Fine. Then just accept what I'm feeling because you definitely don't want to understand it logically. So they can use it kind of like to their advantage. They're like, you want to play that game? Hey, two can play that game. Yeah, I'm so emotional. Therefore, just do what I say. Okay, but are they actually more emotional? No. I mean, you guys like are constantly like suppressing your emotions and like told to not be emotional, but that doesn't make you less emotional. It just comes out in different ways. It comes out in like weird rage and stuff. Evie, it's not a scientifically established biological fact. You can read the Wikipedia page on it where they summarize the scientific research on it and see for yourself. Dax says, hey, I just saw you live and came. Who are you? Who are you? Through the voice, what the hell? Through the voice of Maddie. I don't believe you are actually a woman, okay? So, Giovanni says, if girls aren't more emotional, why do they usually scream when they see bugs? Well, guess what, Giovanni? Re-watch my video on the 6 core behavioral traits of women who are interested in you or something like that. Because hyper feminine behaviors are attractive to men. Okay? So they know that if they act all weak and scared, that you guys will be like, oh, wow, I'm a strong, big man. How wonderful. This woman feminine is so feminine. She needs me. Okay? So that's why girls do that. They do that in lots of different ways. And you guys are all falling for it like idiots. Forget that last part. I said too much. So, JB Weld, super chatting me. Thank you so much. He says, you should read about how deep female rejection goes in the wild. I recently read female horses, mares, have been known to kill males who they reject and continue to pursue them. Damn, that's cold. That's ice cold. Wow, that's intense. These mares are not kidding around. They are brutal. Vincent says, I'm not saying women, and thanks again, JB. What book was this that you read? Vincent says, I'm not saying women don't think and only feel emotions. Well, I mean that some men don't understand women because they think women should feel the same emotions as them. Yes, I agree. Vincent Black says, for example, sexual desire is usually the main emotion for men. Yeah, women have sexual desire too, but yeah, okay. But is it the main emotion? I mean, this is very difficult to say, but I mean, I basically agreed with what you previously said, Vincent. So, Reese passes. Why do girls say they don't care about looks and only care about personality? It's a good question. It's a very good question. Why do they have such a big blind spot about it? Why can't they get black pilled? Why can't they see it? Why do they have what I call the invisible Chad fallacy, where a guy is like obviously insanely good looking, but they don't think looks are the reason they're attracted to him? I mean, first of all, personality is attractive to women, okay? But looks are very attractive too. It's a very important part of the equation. So why is it exactly that they just kind of can't see it? Many theories about that, but what do you think? I mean, it's a great question. I do think it's silly. They need to watch some black pill videos and perhaps they'll wise up. Oh yeah, EV, this is a perfect example. We always get in these emotional fights where you get like insanely triggered and then you blame it on me being emotional. Okay? You're very emotional. I know I only know you from like the chats, but there's so many ways that I've seen you get very triggered, very emotional in many different ways, but of course you deny it. And it's really annoying, but oh well. So Reese passes. Why is it that unattractive women have more options than handsome men? Yeah, another great question. They do. You guys love to think that, like, oh, as soon as the woman hits 30 and she hits the wall, like, her options are gone. No, they're not. No, they're not. So, yeah. I mean, this is the way, like, the market dynamics play out. But why exactly? Why are women more in demand? Is it because men just have, like, more sex, like, more demand? Like, there's less supply for sex and there's more demand from sex from the guy's part. I don't know. What do you think the real reason is? It's a great question. I've kind of wondered that too. I'm like, why is it that women are just so much more in demand? I mean, I guess guys are just like hornier and women are more. I mean, I don't think. Supposedly, according to psychological scientists, as a population, men are only slightly hornier as a population curve. But I guess maybe that's enough to make a difference. Or, women are just kind of like taking care of kids a lot of the time and they don't have time to like pursue sex with men as like a hobby like men do, cheating and whatnot. I don't know. What do you think? Just some random speculation. So you just see, every time I state this, you lose it and project your emotions on me. Yeah, it's called being annoyed by you, Evie, because you're annoying. Every single time. Calm down, Vic, and when you cool down, rewatch this live to see how you react to the question. We've gotten into this fight so many times, and it's always the same. You want to be logical. You want to be like the superior logical brain, like all men, like most men, okay? You especially, though, Evie. It's just silly. All right, guys. So do you guys want to do some quizzing? Finally, quiz time. All right, guys, let's do some quizzing. All right. I got some good ones for you. I've been taking some good screenshots. All right, first one. Okay, guys. Here we go. Put your dunce caps on because some of you need them tonight. And we are going to ask you guys this first one. All right. So here's the situation. It's a TikTok. Okay. Where this woman got asked out by a guy. Okay. And here's the way he asked her out. Now, I want you to tell me, was this good or bad? Is this a good or bad way to ask someone out? Evie says, I hope you rewatch this live again, Lil. Ask Beardo to see how you react. It'll be fun. Yeah, he agrees with me. Okay. He allows me to get annoyed by annoying people. Okay. As if men don't get annoyed by annoying people. To say anything otherwise is completely ridiculous and absurd, and it's a blind spot you have, Evie. Okay. You're annoyed with me, but you deny it. Okay. And you claim, oh, I'm just logical. I'm logical like that. No, you're emotional too right now. Okay. People are allowed to get emotional, and I know you get emotional. And if you watch my lives, I get annoyed at people all the time. This is not new. And it definitely doesn't mean that women as a population are somehow more emotional because Victoria is annoyed at annoying people on her live. That's actually logical. If someone's annoying and you get annoyed, that's a completely logical reaction. All right, back to the quiz. Okay. So here's the message. What do you guys think is the right answer for this? So this guy goes, hi, Kristen. My name is Nate. I saw you and thought you were so beautiful, so I had to find a way to talk to you. I saw your number on your luggage tag and decided to text you. I promise this isn't as weird as it seems. Give a guy a chance. Okay. So basically, she's at the airport. A guy saw her. She's very cute. Okay. He wanted to get her number. So he looked on her luggage tag, found her number, and texted her this message. I'll read it one more time. And you guys tell me, is this a good message or a bad message? Hi, Kristen. My name is Nate. I saw you and thought you were so beautiful, so I had to find a way to talk to you. I saw your number on your luggage tag and decided to text you. I promise this isn't as weird as it seems. Give a guy a chance. Was it good or was it bad? Did he do the right thing? Okay. Did he do the right thing or not? What do you guys say? And if you say it was bad, why was it bad? If you say it was good, why was it good? Let me know. All right, you guys, get your answers in. Bad or good, good or bad. Let's go. While EV continues whining and complaining about how I'm throwing a fit because I hurt his feelings and he's so logical, but he never even said he's logical. Yeah, okay, let's keep going. So all right, guys. Let's see your answer. So Lisa, the one woman in this chat, says, ew, no, it's so bad. Very good, Lisa. Not like you needed my stamp of approval, but why do you think it's bad? I think 99.99999% of women will agree with you. So basically everybody's saying it's bad. Okay? Thank you guys for getting your answers in. As you guys know, sometimes I like to unleash some anger on the live. Okay, it's better than when I'm boring, in my opinion, but I do hurt some people's feelings. I apologize for that. So, yeah. So, everybody is not liking it. Vincent Black is a guy, he'd be creeped out. Head and East says it's clever and he'll have to remember it in the future. An odd dejected distance, it's a no from me, dog. J saw bat. CVS probably should have walked to her at the airport. Very good, CVS. That's wonderful. Yep. A+ for that. Vargan, it's as weird as it seems. So, all right, you guys are getting it. You guys are doing a great job here. Bad. Ew, brother. What's that, brother? Dax, yep. Last sentence is not good. Give a guide. Okay, wonderful. Poyo says he wants me to ask harder questions. And then, all right, Poyo, we'll get hard. All right, this is just a warm-up. Nani says bad since he went the extra mile to stalk her information. Freedom Fox 1 says anytime you need to say promise isn't weird, it's weird. Great job, guys. Great job. You are acing this quiz. Okay. Baxter Maxter says unlawful surveillance. I like that. So, great job, guys. Okay. Yep. All right, guys. You pretty much got this one. But what one of you guys said, I forgot who it was, the one I gave an A+ to, who said, and also I just saw someone else say this, Vargan, why not approach her in person? Exactly. That's kind of what she said. Like, okay, why, if he liked me and he saw me in the airport, why didn't he just come up to me in person and say, hi, I'm so-and-so, my name is Nate. I saw you and thought you were so beautiful, so I had to find a way to talk to you in person, right? But instead, he really creeped her out because he looked on her luggage tag. She felt very violated because he got her number. He also saw her address. Okay. So this is something you have to know about women and know about the female gaze. Okay. They're on edge. They rightfully so, or perhaps, a little more scared than they need to be. It's, different opinions on that. Okay. They're on edge about stalkers. They're on edge about guys who approach them, becoming obsessed with them, stalking them, knowing their personal information, knowing their personal address. So whenever you approach women, you kind of want to keep that in mind if you really want to understand women. You want to understand that they don't want you to know their address too soon. Like a lot of guys make this mistake in dating. Well, they'll be like, oh, why don't you come over to my place on a first date? Or why don't I come over to your place? And a lot of women are like, hell no, because I don't want you to know my address and I don't want to be in a house with someone I don't know. So you always got to keep this in mind, okay? That women are like very skittish about this kind of thing, okay? And two, the other thing you guys need to keep in mind from this example is that in her mind, she's thinking, why the hell didn't he just come up to me? Why the hell didn't he just walk up to me and talk to me? And that's what I'm always trying to tell you guys on these lives is that that's what women expect. Women expect that baseline, a guy should be able to walk up to a woman and be like, hey, I saw you over there. Like, you're so beautiful. Like, I'd be kicking myself if I didn't say something. I know it's kind of out of the blue, but like, I'm Nate. Like, what's your name? Something like that, okay? Exactly what he basically said in the text, except do it in person. Women are expecting it. That's more normal because it's safer. It's safer than he secretly like Google stalked her and got her number and her address, and she didn't even have a chance to reject or accept him, And then another bad part about this one is this. I promise this isn't as weird as it seems. And some of you guys said that, which was great in the chat. You don't want to make that decision for her. I promise this isn't as weird as it seems. Okay? Let her be the judge of if it's weird or not. Open hands. And then give a guy a chance. That's kind of very like nice guy tips fedora. It's like, why don't women give nice guys a chance these days? You know what I mean? So that's going to come off as very like weak and very like not a good sign. So you guys aced it, in my opinion. Most of you did a great job here. JB, well, Tiffany, thank you so much, JB. He says, lesson from high school. He who cares the least gets the most. Interesting. Yes, I think there's a lot of truth in that. Although, obviously, like the opposite could sometimes be true. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. How did you learn that in high school, JB? So anyway, you guys did a great job with that. Reign Supreme says, bad/weird. If you have time to find her bags and her number, you have time to approach her and talk to her in person. Also, if you have to say it's not as weird as it seems, it is. Yep. Great take. Wonderful. Okay, guys, let's go on to the next one. Alrighty. All right. That one's pretty good. Okay. All right, guys, here's a good one. Is this a good way to get out of the friend zone or not? Okay. Is this being mode 1? Is this being direct? Is this being alpha? Or has he taken it too far? All right. Here we go. So he goes, I'll try to see if you can read this. Sorry, but I'm starting to feel like a fucking simp to you. Let me know if you want to get intimate and I'll give you the princess treatment. Then, an hour and a half later, he goes, as a grown adult, I can't be in a friendship or whatever if we ain't fucking. You come over every day. What you expect, girl? I'm not going to be a bitch. So respectfully, if you're keen on a sneaky link or start sucking and fucking, hit me up on Snapchat. Okay. So was that a way for she's going to respect him? He's like, hey, I'm not a pushover. I don't deal with this kind of treatment. Okay, so if you want to start respecting me, you want to take me seriously as a man, okay, let me know. Or if not, we're done. I'm walking away. So was it good or not? What is your opinion? Get your answers in. So Lupine says he's a ladies' man. JB Wells says, ha ha ha, WTF. Yin Yang says, LMAO, this is a joke. Anyone who thinks this is okay, it's hilarious. Okay, you guys are get your answers in, good or bad. Could it work? Could it not? CVS says you're giving away the answer by including the girls from us. Yeah, you're right. I was hoping people were just listening and not looking at that, but forget that. So okay. So, TK Field says pretty alpha in his head, probably. So, was it good or bad? Thomas Hogg says best I heard. Datorion says that's lame for real, for real. He should word it differently. How would you word it, Datorion? Henny says very polite and respectful. Paul says he has a bad approach. Roughneck Delta says he's telling her his standards. Yeah, guys, he's telling her his standards. Isn't that good? Mr. Justice is alpha AF. Roy says, yes, it's fair. So I feel like this one's kind of mixed, all right, guys? We got some people saying, yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's fair. Yeah, it's alpha. And I'm not sure if some people are joking, and then other people are saying it's lame AF. So what do you guys think? And then we got something from JB here. Thank you so much, JB. He says, the loudest man in the room or text is the weakest man in the room. Confucius says, probably. Yes, JB. I also see a lot of truth in that. So I know what you mean. Thank you so much, JB, for all your super chats. All right, guys. So AH says he has no bargaining power. That's a great point. AH, he's putting it all on the table and saying he's ready to walk away, right? So Detorian says it's good he was up front, but he came off like she was getting under his skin. Okay, interesting perspective. Good point. So, okay, yep, interesting. You guys, this one's causing some good discussion in the chat. So Nani says horrible. Now he's acting like, look, I got options. You ain't having sex with me tonight. Then you're missing out on the prize. And he's playing at low stakes or tech. He should have flirted in person. Great point. Doc says, Roy says it's just an ultimatum. So is it not? Is it okay, Roy? Is it good? Morgan says bad. He sounds very resented. If he wants to get out of the friend zone, ask her out. Bingo, Morgan. Bingo. Yep, you guys are giving me some great answers on this one. All right. Hello, Joseph. DJ says no, it was not good. Ying and Ying says, of course, everyone has a right to express themselves and talk to whoever, but what type of response from a normal person would you expect? Yep. All right. Great point, guys. Hold on. I got to turn on some lights in this place. Hold on. Okay. So, all right, guys. Well, I don't know if you guys saw this at the end, but she goes, yeah, no. Okay. And she posted it in a group where everyone's making fun of it. So I don't know if Lisa's still here, but this really comes off just like, this, I think Nani kind of said it well. It's like he's kind of pretending he has so many options. Okay, maybe he's not. But it's like this girl is the one who has options. Okay, so if this guy just comes off rudely making demands, telling her, oh, you better start sucking and fucking me, or else, she's just like, okay, then I won't, and I'll find someone else. She's actually the one with all the options. Do you know what I'm saying? And you guys gave some great points that if he wanted to get out of the friend zone, Nani says it like do it in person, flirt in person. This guy Vargan, I believe is your name. Yeah, Vargan. If he wants to get out of the friend zone, ask her out. Yes, create the chemistry in person. You don't need to always like be so direct and blunt, like, hey, either you come crawling over to my house and like give me a blowjob, or like no one's going to accept that offer. But however, like if you kind of created chemistry by asking her out on a date, getting her in some kind of like nightlife romantic scenario, flirting in person, escalating in person, she might want to have sex with you. Do you know what I'm saying? So you guys did a great job on this. Some people thought it was fine. And, I guess it's his right to stand up for himself. But to a woman, it's not going to give the result you want necessarily if you do it like that, at least in my opinion. What do you guys think? Maybe you disagree with me. So, yeah. Whitney says he comes across as a victim, like the platonic friendship was holding away something he was entitled to. Yeah, you're right, Whitney. He does. Paul says bossing her to come over and not to come if she's expecting not to be ravaged, then it puts it in her court. So are you saying it was good, Paul? Henry says it actually comes off like he's yelling at her in the text. Yeah, it's extremely rude. the way he was saying it. AH says she knows he has no standards. Probably, honestly. All right, guys, that was a great one. You guys did a good job on that. A lot of you guys thought it was good, though. Okay, did you guys know that it's better to do it in person, like Nani and Morgan said, and probably some of you guys as well? All right, guys, here's a pop quiz principle we have done. Well, Dax says, what's your POV on this? It was posted in a group, and every single woman was laugh reacting it, making fun of it, saying it was so stupid. So, yeah, women hated it. All right. All right, guys, this is a principle that I have done on other pop quizzes. So I'm hoping you guys get this one right. So this is a Tinder profile or something like that, right? So you guys, picture this. We're on a date. I take you to the generic restaurant of your choosing. Then we go out for a drink. After a few, I'm a bit tipsy, so we head back to my car. Car's on fire. You're shocked and ready to call 911. You look back at me. I have 2 marshmallows on a stick ready for roasting and more alcohol. You blush. We cuddle together while my blazing car keeps us warm. We joke. We laugh. You're about to lean in for a kiss. I chloroform you and rob you. Wasn't even my car on fire. All right, guys. So was it humorous? Was it funny? Is this going to make girls laugh? Is this going to be like, damn, this is refreshing? This guy has a good sense of humor. Or are girls going to be absolutely horrified and be like, oh, fuck no? All right, what do you guys think? Was it good or bad? And this one contains one very important principle of the female gaze, which a lot of guys do not know, and they put their foot in their mouth, and it's an instant block. Damn it, I just gave it away. Stupid. But anyway, guys, what do you think? Was it good? So Detorian says it's a very good one. Thomas says best yet. DJ says that dude is trying too hard. CVS says hell yeah. Detorian says women will love that. Narni says the sense of humor was very bad. Joseph says bad. I would feel distrustful of him. Thomas swooned. Detorian says it will remind women of a romance novel. Yes. All right, guys. I guess these quizzes are getting a little harder. Mr. Justin says it's a waste of word, and the reason is it was good to paint a picture in her mind, but it was awful painting. Ying Ying says, lol, I think you get a mixed response, which is what you expect. Some people will like it, others won't. You guys aren't getting the principle at play here. That is the one reason why women will not like it. Okay. So, all right, I'm going to switch the question to what is the reason that women will not like this? There's one reason, okay? Does anyone know what it is? Vargan says bad. He starts by calling taste of women generic. Then it looks like the dude forgot to take his med. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? What is the reason that women would be like instant swipe left? Okay. Well, we got one person who got it. Okay. And that is my old friend and perhaps a few other people. Yep, you guys are getting it. You guys are getting it. More people are getting it in. Yes. Freedom Fox 1 got it, said it first. It was mostly weird, but the chloroform part was awful. I actually thought it was pretty funny and pretty good and pretty humorous and fine for an online dating profile right up until the chloroform part. So yes, Freedom Fox 1, you got it. Because women are very sensitive, like I said, to murder, abuse, assault, torture, okay? It's a reality for many women or people they know or women they read about in the news, in the international news, okay? So any reference to something like, I chloroform you and rob you is not good. It's triggering. It's not going to be funny to women, you know? Like imagine if he had said, like, you're about to lean in for a kiss. I R-word you. I grape you. and dispose of your body. Like, it's similar. It's like, how are women going to think that's a joke? They're taking a big risk meeting a stranger they don't know. And if you say something like that right off the gun, they're just going to be like, oh, hell no. Okay. So this actually was pretty funny. I actually did like his, I mean, obviously it's like copy and pasted. It's probably not his thing. He probably got this from somewhere else. But it was pretty funny, and it's good to be funny on these online dating profiles or whatever. But you should never bring up the topic of like sexual violence or just violence. You know what I'm saying? So that's a really good thing to keep in mind, because a lot of guys just they don't think about that. It's not like part of their reality, well, at least like I hope it's not part of their reality, but do you know what I'm saying? So what do you guys think about that one? So Ying Ying says, wow, I didn't even notice that. Yep. DJ says, true, good point. CVS says, I actually liked the chloroform part. I've heard this Tinder profile before without the chloroform part, and I assume girls have too. The chloroform part was morbid but refreshing. Oh, I could not agree more. I could not disagree more. Sorry, CVS. No, that's a hell no for me, and probably for 99.9% of women. So JB says, the only time something like that is funny is when you say something like, you'll be waddling at work tomorrow after our date. JB, thank you so much for your super chat. I'm going to have to disagree with you. Okay? That is not good to do either. Okay. Maybe if you've already established a sexual relationship with her, you guys have had sex multiple times, and you've sexted and you're joking about like how good the sex is, that's good. But on a first date, you don't want to say anything like that. That's just a hell no. You know what I'm saying? But you said later only works if you know her. And you have a good rapport with her, and you have good sexual chemistry, and you've had good sex, I would add. But thank you so much, JB. So DJ says, women don't want to be drugged unconscious? Seriously, Victoria? Exactly, DJ. Dorian says, if she like you, you good, fellas. It depends. Okay, let's just say in some hypothetical scenario, she's like truly obsessed with you and she's willing to overlook anything you say, even obvious female gaze errors like, ha ha ha, have fun. I'll be drugging you on tonight's date. Ha ha ha. Hilarious, right? Who knows, if I'll assault your unconscious body. Ha ha ha. It's like, why go there? Do you know what I'm saying? Just learn the principle and avoid saying stuff like that. So, yeah. All right. So, but in your defense, Dorian, yeah. I mean, there could be a scenario where she's just so obsessed with the guy, she's willing to disregard anything and everything. Like, for example, those famous black pill experiments where the guy is like so good looking and then he's just saying all this horribly like racist, sexist, like Nazi propaganda, and the girl just ignores it. So it could be, but in general, why take the risk? Because a lot of girls are just gonna be like, what the fuck? No. So, all right. Are you guys ready for next quiz? Okay. All right, guys. Next quiz. Okay. So, here is the text message, and I want you to tell me if this is a good or a bad way to ask someone out again on a second date. Okay? Oh, hello, David Gonzalez. He says, hello there, Victoria. I can't stay long. Best to you and the viewers. Gentlemen, treat women kindly, and they'll do the same for you. David, I got your email. I loved it. And welcome to the chat. I know you can't stay long, but it's great to see you. So, all right, guys. So, this is the text that a woman received after a first date. Okay. Good morning, Sarah. I enjoyed chatting with you last night and hope you did too. I would love to take you to dinner when you're available. I'm flexible on schedule, so let me know when would work best for you. I have 3 places picked, and you can tell me if any of them sound good to you, or if you have a place in mind, that's fine, especially since you're more familiar with the area than me! Exclamation point. My current 3 choices are Alelo, Krabby Bill's, 1200 Chop House. Okay, so was that a good way to ask out a girl on a second date? Was he being too beta because he was not being like direct enough? You know what I'm saying? Was he kind of saying like putting it like the ball in her court too much? Or was it just the right amount of directness and flexibility for this woman? Did she, the woman who posted this in the group, was she saying this is bad or is this good? And if so, why? This is a good way to ask women on a date. I'll read it one more time. Good morning, Sarah. I enjoyed chatting with you last night and hope you did too. I would love to take you to dinner when you're available. I'm flexible on schedule, so let me know when work best for you. I have 3 places picked, and you can tell me if any of them sound good to you, or if you have a place in mind, that's fine, especially since you're more familiar with the area than me. My current 3 choices are Alelo, Krabby Bill's, 1200 Chop House. Good or bad, guys? Get your answers in. So Sage says, wow. Is that good or bad, Sage? Thomas says, good morning, Julia? LKJ says, don't mention flexible on schedule, seems low value. Doc says he is too gentle. One Weapon says, they're going to be scared he's serious. DJ says, it sounds like he's scheduling a Zoom meeting. AH says, too indecisive. All right, you guys are saying you don't like it. LKJ says, be more assertive on which place to pick. B, what is his 100% Zoom meeting, DJ? David. Aha, that's funny. You guys have almost this like a very similar name. Russell Cameron Thomas says, quiz answer, not a great approach. Better to put out one plan, let her react. Karen says, tell her where you're going to take her. Vargan says, overall sounds good, I think. Doc says, goodbye, Victoria. Goodbye, Doc. Thanks for joining. Hedney says, I think you did a good job, and that's probably how I would handle it. AH says, be direct, be flexible. But you have to have a plan. Women famously hate choosing where to eat. Roughneck Dell says, I already know he's not good in bed. LKJ says, in the fact she posted in a group means it's not good by default. All right, you guys are, this is very mixed. I'd say we've got like maybe 80% bad, 20% saying it's good. Thomas says, decent but lengthy. You could have picked the place. You guys don't like that he gave the options. And odd dejected distance is a little too much like a Zoom meeting. Paul says, I say yes, he gave her options. I would have indicated my top preference. Joseph thinks it's too beta. Dog 11 says, I think it's okay, but he should have been more decisive on choosing a place. LMNOP says, terrible, sounds super beta. Mr. Justin says it's weak. And you can tell by his verbiage that our messages to him prior were not of high interest. RDK says, that's not a text I would send. Zachary B says, I think it's pretty good, but maybe just pick one place. Too much flexibility, putting the onus on her to decide. Vincent Black says, it's actually quite good, but he should have been more easygoing about it. He's making it sound like a work meeting or something. So Torian says, he's giving her too many options. This isn't a multiple choice question test. You tell her where you're going and when. All right, guys. TK says he might seem desperate for picking the 3 possible places. Okay, guys. Great answers. All right. Well, I will give you my opinion. And I will give you the opinion of the people in the group where this was posted. Okay, guys. In my opinion, this was actually very good. This is what women expect, okay, for a second date. Yeah, there's different styles or whatever. And like somebody said, you know, you could be a little more casual with it. But I don't think the formality of it is bad, okay? This is the kind of text that guys send when they often want to go on a second date. This is standard. This is what women expect. And the fact that he gave her 3 options and he was kind of a little like, you know, I'm flexible. Let me know what works best for you. You can tell me if any of them sound good to you. This is why I chose it, because I thought that you guys might think, oh, this is too beta. He's being too weak and wishy-washy. It's not. This level of flexibility is appreciated by women. Okay, because in women's mind, they want the guy to basically do like the heavy lifting. They want the guy to plan the date. They want the guys to like research, come up with options, but they're okay if the guy basically asks like, okay, out of the 3 I came up with, like, what's your preference? What works best for you? That's very much appreciated. So yeah, I feel like a lot of you guys might use this as a good example. Trust me, this is what women expect. This is what they want. This is going to be way better than just trying to be like super casual and alpha. This comes across as alpha to a woman. I don't know if maybe that like surprises you. This is what women see as alpha. Okay, obviously there's levels to it, but they feel like this is a guy taking charge. This is a guy who would like succeed at his job because he's very on top of things. He plans things. He's respectful. Do you know what I'm saying? So this is good. And she posted it in the group saying like, wow, I really like this message. Like, he did this so well. Here are the things I like about it. You know? So yeah, a lot of you guys didn't do too well on the last pop quiz, and some of you guys did. So yeah. I wanted to give you guys that as an example because it's like, I think a lot of you guys might think, oh, that's way too beta or whatever. It's not. All right. Oh, Lisa, she's still here. Wonderful. Guys, our certified female is here. Lisa, she says, I agree, Victoria. The guy figured out a plan and is putting her needs and wants first. It makes me feel comfortable and trusting he can handle setting up a date. Exactly. Okay, guys, you heard it from a horse's mouth, another woman. All right. She agrees it's good. And yes, and do you agree, Lisa, that this is kind of the level of thoughtfulness that women expect as the bare minimum, as they say? So I think you guys should know about this. Yes, I would feel comfortable as well. I'm like, wow, this guy, he knows how to take the lead because he set up the date, but he seems very respectful and like you can kind of trust him and he's not going to be like, kind of like weirdly like, I am an alpha dom or whatever. So yeah, very good. So Lisa says, yes, that is my expectation and won't generally go if it doesn't unfold like that. Guys, listen to Lisa. This is what I'm telling you guys. Okay? So this was a great lesson for you guys, in my opinion. A lot of you guys. Okay. Hey, we got Ellis in the chat. He says, yo, met a lady last week. We went out twice. She was highly interested the entire time until after the end of our date yesterday. I let her pay for lunch and she called me out on it in a playful way. Ellis, welcome, first of all, and hello. Second of all, I think it was a mistake, Ellis. It was only the second date, right? So I think it was too soon to be letting her pay for lunch. I think you should have kept paying for a bit longer, for sure. And what did she say when she called you out on it? But that's great. You went out. It's good. Oh, so then Ella says, I paid her back for my half of lunch. After I last saw her, I texted. She said, text me if you're bored. Oh, after I last saw her, I texted. She said, text me if you're bored. And she didn't respond. No response. So why did you say she said, text me if you're bored? Can you explain that a little better? Maybe I'm like missing some reference or something. So Ella says, it's crazy how in my experience, a woman can go from 100 to 0 so freaking fast. Second, they ended on a decent note too. Yeah, well, Ella's like little mistakes like that can kill it. Like, for example, just not paying. that could kill it. Because she's thinking, this guy's cheap. This guy's not going to like court me anymore. He's already done courting me. We've only been on one date and he's already expecting me to go 50-50. A lot of the romance is taken out of it. It kind of kills her lady boner, as Beardo says. You know what I mean? So I think that was your mistake. Oh, so Ella says, I texted her because she said, text me if you're bored. My bad. Yeah. She's probably categorized you a bit differently now as kind of like lower priority, but. So DJ's asking Lisa a question. If you went on a date with a man and liked him, wouldn't you want to hear his voice instead of him texting you all this stuff? Okay, yeah. Let's ask Lisa that. Call or text. All right, guys, and we'll do maybe like one more quiz or something. All right, guys, here is a classic one. And Nani actually sent this one to me on TikTok. Okay. This one is relating to the number one principle of the female gaze. Okay. This guy goes, unpopular fact. Your boyfriend will find other beautiful girls, and it's okay. You're not the only beautiful girl in the world. The important thing is, as much as there are beautiful girls, he chose to stay with you for so many reasons other than your beauty. Guys, will women like it or will they not like it? Was it a good thing to say? Was it a bad thing to say? How did the girls on the TikTok react to this message? And for extra credit, why did they react badly? Get your answers in. And let's take this from JB. Thank you so much, JB, for all your super chats tonight. He says, you probably won't agree, but it seems like women are more interested in boxes being checked than the individual, like nothing about whether or not he's a good person or a bad person. Well, JB, I do agree with you to some extent in the sense of, people are men and women, but let's focus on women for now. They're shallow and materialistic when it comes to dating, okay? And there are a lot of like boxes they kind of feel subconsciously like they're checking. Like, for example, is he good looking? Or is he tall? Or does he have a good enough job? Or, is he cool enough? Are his social skills okay? Like, they are clicking boxes, okay? And whether or not he's a good or a bad person, yes, can be like eclipsed by, well, he's a good person, but he's not good looking enough for me or whatever. And that can be for very shallow reasons. Like, what will my friends think? What will people think about me if I'm with a guy who's not good looking? Will they think, oh, she couldn't get a guy who's that good looking? Like, of course, men do the exact same kinds of things. But yeah, I sympathize and I know what you mean, because people are like subconsciously driven in a way to find like a sex object rather than like a best friend of somebody who would be like a really amazing partner. And I feel like people don't really understand themselves, especially when they're younger, and why they're so like driven to find someone who's really good looking or who has kind of like this alpha swagger or whatever. They don't really understand it. They just know they're drawn to it. And it takes people sometimes like decades and decades to realize all that stuff was like stupid and meaningless. And what really matters is someone who's like a good person. And I can deal with the fact that maybe he doesn't look like a male model or whatever. So I do agree with you. And I agree, it's very frustrating. And sometimes I get very frustrated myself from like the male, because like I'm kind of talking to a lot of guys and I think the same things about the way they're thinking about women. It's all about like, the best looking woman and stuff. And I'm like, sometimes I'll just get really frustrated. So I'm like, do you realize that this woman could be like pure evil? She could be like Casey Anthony. She could be a sociopath like Jodi Arias or whatever. Like, but she's good looking, so that's all you care about? Like, it sometimes just boggles the mind how superficial and shallow like we can be in the dating game, you know? So I do sympathize. I do know what you mean. I think there's a lot of truth to it. So yeah, I do agree. All right, guys, so we got some answers to that. So let's see what Lisa said about that one. I won't like it. Bad thing to say. It's condescending. Why is it trying to expand on how ordinary the woman is and how many beautiful women there are? Very well said. Very well said, Lisa. I completely agree. And just to spoil the quiz for you guys, because I was talking a long time, so you probably got your answers in already. The women of TikTok hated it as well. Every single person on TikTok was saying, why do I hate this? Why am I mad now? Why am I like so angry? Okay, because they don't understand the number one principle of the female gaze themselves, which is the only girl in the world, as coined by Nani, who pointed out the Rihanna song, want you to make me feel like I'm the only girl in the world, like I'm the only one that you've ever loved. That's a deep desire of women, okay? They want to feel like, as somebody else said very well, in the eyes of, who was saying this? There's someone in the chat. Yeah, Russell Cameron Thomas. Not a great thing to express. What women want to hear is you are beautiful. To me, in my eyes, yes. In the eyes of her special person, in the eyes of her boyfriend, her beauty plus her personality, okay, plus the intangible, mystical nature of who she is and her soul equals something that is more beautiful than any other woman in the world. That is the first principle of the female gaze. And this guy is violating it hardcore because, exactly like Lisa said, he's just focusing on trying to tell the woman that this desire is bad, that this is wrong, that she should accept that she's ordinary, she's beautiful, but so are a lot of other women, which is true, but this is the male gaze, not the female gaze, okay? And women really want to feel like a guy saying, to me, you are the most beautiful woman. Yes, I know there's models out there. I know there's tons of attractive girls out there. Like, there's beautiful people out there, and I can appreciate their beauty. But to me, in my eyes, as Russell Cameron Thomas said, you are something beyond that. You are beyond compare. Okay. So it's a combination. They're not thinking of the black pill scale. They're not thinking of like the scientific ranking that everyone finds like this jaw shape attractive and these facial proportions attractive, so just accept it. That's not the female gaze. The female gaze is the soul plus the exterior equals is greater than every other woman. And honestly, guys, I agree with it. Like, if you don't feel that way about, if you can't say that who the woman you're with is plus her beauty is something greater and more powerful than just any other hot girl, that's not a good sign. Okay, you're going to be tempted to cheat if you get the option to cheat, because it's like, I don't know, maybe you feel like, oh, I got a good thing going. But if you could cheat, you probably would, because you value beauty so highly. You don't value the personality as much. You don't feel there's something like special there that's bonding you guys together. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on this one, but unfortunately, the male gaze is not going to go over well with women on this respect. They really want the man they're with to see them as transcending the black pill scale, if you will. Does that make sense? Yes, DJ, the woman you're pursuing has to be the most beautiful one to you. That's what women want. Yep. Lisa says, Victoria, could you expound on why you think many of the guys in here don't understand these things? Why are they so confused? That's a great question. I feel like, in my opinion, you guys can correct me if you're wrong, if I'm wrong, and please add your own perspectives as well. But I feel like, the dating game for men is very brutal, okay, because it's much more competitive. So they don't have the luxury of just kind of like going off into kind of like a fantasy where it's like, I am a beautiful princess and my soul is pure and wonderful. It's like, no, if they're not working on their looks, if they're not looks maxing, they don't date anyone. So they have to start thinking like in a very brutal, objective manner about beauty. You know what I'm saying? Like they have to start thinking like, I have to look at like what science says about what is most attractive to women. I can't just say, oh, I'm beautiful the way I am and I accept myself. Because if they accept themselves, like they get nowhere. They just get the same thing they've always got, which is nothing. So they really have to start thinking kind of like very critically in a brutally honest light about beauty and looks. Okay. Well, that's one possibility. So I feel like they don't kind of like respect this idea of like, oh, everyone's beautiful in their own way. It's like, and also another thing is, well, I think there's a lot to it, but let's see what everyone else is saying about it. So Dogalova says, thank you. I'm a fat man with a great personality traits, decent living, confidence, etc. But I know for a fact I get overlooked because of my weight. But everyone lies about it, not Victoria. Well, yes, like as they call it, lookism, right? Lookism, it's very real. Pretty privilege, it's very real. Fat phobia, it's very real. You know? And so they kind of are stuck. Like you guys have no choice. It's like submit to the template, as I say, or you're screwed. Whereas women, it's not as competitive for us. Like even if we don't looks max, we can get someone. We can get a boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? If we wanted to get somebody like extremely elite, like some rich hot billionaire, we'd have to be thinking in the same way as the men are. We'd have to be like submitting to the beauty template and be like, what do men find the most attractive? Oh, okay, they like big boobs, they like curvy, they like butt, but like very low body fat at the same time. They like blonde hair, they like plastic surgery, they like this kind of makeup, they like this kind of outfit. We'd have to be like brutally honest with ourselves as well. But we kind of can like live more in this beautiful vision of like romance where it's like we have this deep soul connection. I don't know. So Lisa says, I would think if things are so competitive for men that they would really listen hard to a woman explaining how to succeed to them. You would think a lot of them would be listening harder, yeah. And even if women don't give them the complete truth, you would think they would try to be like piecing it together from things women say, but a lot of women have a lot of blind spots still, so they can say things that kind of are misleading. But there's still a lot they could learn from women, and a lot of them just reject it out of hand, which is stupid. But yeah, there's a lot of misleading things women are saying out there as well. For example, a lot of women, they're very blue pill. They just say, oh, just be nice, just be a gentleman, just, any guy can get a woman. Guys have it like easy. They have like a big blind spot about that, how like in demand they think guys are, because they're basically only dating like very good looking guys who actually do have options. So they think that applies to all men, when really most men are like struggling hardcore. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't understand women at all. They don't have the skills. They don't know about looks maxing. They're making lots of mistakes. So a lot of women just really downplay that so hardcore in a very obnoxious way. Just like, oh, it's just be yourself, just be authentic. You know what I'm saying? DJ super chatted me and he said, I did listen and it worked. Thanks, Victoria. Thanks, DJ. Thank you so much. Which part did you listen to? Which part did you get from women that worked? And thank you so much for your super chat. So let's see what Ellis says. Men are pursuing a gender who is not attracted to most of them. Very true. And when it comes to advice, some women tend to say one thing to uphold a particular image, but do something entirely different. Also, very true. And they leave out key details like physical attraction has to be there, what their specific types are, and the sexual side of it. That, very well said. I agree. These are big blind spots for women. The physical attraction one, yes, they leave it out. What their specific types are, yep, that's a great point. And the sexual side of it, yes. That is often very taboo, very stigmatized, and they don't feel comfortable talking about it because it could reflect badly on them, in my opinion. So I agree, Alice. Well said. So Dog Love says, it sucks how relationships feel like exchange. I've lost 50 pounds, 100 more to go. I will keep using Victoria's advice on my journey and keep reporting on how it has helped me. Great, Dog. I love it. It's brutal out there. Yep. And that's amazing that you're having so much success with the weight loss. I wish you didn't have to lose anyway. I wish people could just accept you as you are. Brutal out there. So Russell Cameron Thomas says, both men and women have difficulty seeing romance from the opposite point of view. Very true. Lack of experience and knowledge of physiology, hormones, emotions, psychology. Yes, I agree, 100%. Oh, we got a super chat again from JB. JB, you're so kind tonight. Thank you so much for your generosity. He says, most people could significantly improve their interactions with the opposite sex by working out in the gym and eating healthy and staying well groomed. I only feel so bad for the overweight neckbeard. Oh, JB. Well, I think it's very good to try to look smacks, okay? But the thing I don't like about what you said, JB, is that it's not so simple for everyone, okay? Some people are they're starting off, without any privilege when it comes to this kind of thing. So to just kind of lump everybody in the same category and just be like, oh, I have no sympathy for you, okay? It could be like an insanely difficult Sisyphean struggle for some people to look like ripped, and other people, just naturally do it. And I feel like there's a lot of shaming from people who, have had it easy. Just like, what's the big deal? Just get in the gym and like eat healthy and you'll be good. Well, a lot of people are eating healthy and they're still not ripped and they're still not thin and they're still not look smacks. So yes, I agree that, if you want the best results, you have to submit to the template, and people like fitness and people like, but it's very difficult for some people and perhaps not even at all possible for some people. And for some people, it's just going to take insane effort. So I think we should have some sympathy and compassion and not just like shame everyone like, I can't feel bad for you if you're overweight. But, it's just working out and eating healthy doesn't do it for everyone, that's for sure. Although there's extreme measures they could take that perhaps might do it, but it's just not as simple as it is for some people. That's all I'm saying. But thanks, JB. This might be Beardo. I'm not sure. Oh, nice. Detorian says, you don't have to be ripped, just have normal body fat percentage. It would help if you were ripped, though, wouldn't it? DJ says, pour one out to all my ugly homies in the chat. Yep. Sage says, some ugly homies still getting it, though, which is a great point because, some people, they compensate. They don't really do the looks maxing, but they just really work on their game and their personality and their charisma. And that's another way to go about it as well. However, would it be easier if you both had an incredible personality, incredible looks? Of course. DJ says brains maxing. Yep. Exactly. So Ellis says, wait, let's see what Ian says. Well, let's see what Lisa says first. How far up should I go? Okay, so let's see. DJ says, all the videos on your channel are fantastic. I like the ones with your computer too. Thanks, DJ. Lisa says, Russell, I understand that more and more, especially listening to Victoria, but I noticed a lot of her audience seems resistant to our message even while they tune in. Lisa, that's true. I do get a lot of guys who just are like very resistant. And in my opinion, it's like they kind of develop like copes. You know what I'm saying? They're lost, they're confused, they don't know what to do. And so they kind of just like, I feel like they're still listening and they're still trying to learn, but they kind of develop these like defense mechanisms and copes because they feel lost and, they're latching onto ideas that seem right, but they're not really sure if they're right yet. But yeah, I agree. Some people are very resistant to like the message or even like a lot of things. Yeah, there's so much. I wish I could just show you like the comments, Lisa, because yeah, they're insanely resistant. A lot of people, but that's why I like doing the lives because like on the lives, you guys are like so open-minded and very different than my normal commenters. So. Russell Cameron Thomas, thank you so much for your super chat. And he says, discussion question. On a third date or after, how vulnerable should a guy be? How open to be about fears, wounds, hurts, how to express? Great question, Russell Cameron Thomas. Okay. So, in my opinion, and I'll get your guys' opinions as well. Women police masculinity a lot. Do you know what I'm saying? And women expect guys to kind of stay in like the masculine role. Now, it's okay if they kind of open up about like their fears, wounds, and hurts, as long as basically they don't, like if there's a balance, right? It's like, it's like a seesaw, right? The guy is kind of like the rock at the bottom or something. And the more he like shares his vulnerabilities, fears, if the woman has to be the rock on the seesaw or whatever, she's kind of might get like a little annoyed because subconsciously women have, this kind of expectation that in a relationship, like I get to be the emotional one and he has to be strong for me. He has to be the man. So there's kind of a danger. I agree with what a lot of men say in being so open about your fears, wounds, hurts that a woman is basically thinking, oh my gosh, I'm like this guy's therapist. I'm, like this guy's mom. I'm like this. So it's like, as long as you can kind of keep this kind of frame of like, I could still be the man in this relationship. I can still be a rock for you. It's not going to hurt you, in my opinion, but it's kind of like a balance. Like you maybe want to do like 20% fears, wounds, and hurts, and 80% like, I got us. However, when you're deep into a relationship, depending on like the dynamic in your relationship, hopefully you can open up much more. But third date, I'd say, is a little early. But people pull it off, okay? Like my boyfriend, he was opening up to me about all his problems, like on the first date, basically. But he didn't do it in a way that made me feel like, oh God, I really gotta like save this guy. I gotta help this guy. Because he kind of made it seem like he was handling it, like he had dealt with it. So maybe that's more the key. Because I still thought, wow, I was kind of impressed. I'm like, damn, this guy has got a lot of problems, but like, how did he even deal with that? Because I would have like been crushed under all that. So does that make sense? You kind of want to be careful that you don't tip the balance into, oh wow, I gotta take care of this guy. Because that's one of the big things women expect. Is like, I will be emotionally taken care of in this relationship. What does Lisa think? And what does everyone else in the chat think of this great discussion question? So Lisa says, Russell, done right, I think vulnerability expresses self-knowledge and strength, but not in a way that makes me feel like he expects me to fix it. Yep. Great point. Vargan says, I think men can share their vulnerabilities as long as he doesn't look defeated and lost. You have to look like you still have fight in you. Oh, I like that, Vargan. Vargan, you got some great points tonight. Yes. Russell Cameron says, I like to go deep pretty quick, and I'm open about vulnerabilities without asking for support or asking for her to do anything. Yep, I think that would be good, Russell. Roughneck Dell says, if you want to talk about your feelings, that's what guy friends are for. Yeah. A lot of guys have like really strong opinions about this. They're like, the second you open up, that's the second she leaves you on monkey branches. And it's not totally true, but there's, truth in it that women really have this, in my opinion, blind spot there where they kind of are expecting men to like be tough. And if you're not tough, they're kind of like, whoa, 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 like I'm very destabilized, like what's happening? So they kind of have to unpack that, in my opinion. So Roughneck Delta says, Vic, do you agree when women talk about their problems, they aren't looking for good guys to fix it for them? Yes, Roughneck Delta, I agree. Like, in general, when women talk about their problems, they are looking for someone to basically understand the way they're feeling, tell them it makes sense, tell them you're not crazy. So, yeah, you should do what I call thought empathy, feeling empathy, and the disarming technique, okay? You should really read that book, Feeling Good Together by David Burns, where he talks about the 5 secrets. That's really what would be ideal when women talk about their problems. Thought empathy is you summarize what she said. She's like, oh my God, I had like the craziest day at work. Okay. And she goes on and on. You summarize it. Okay. So this is what happened at work. Oh my God, that sounds exhausting. Like I can't imagine you're like feeling really stressed. Like here, let me give you a foot rub while you tell me more about it. Like tell me what else happened. Oh my God, it'd be incredible. Women would love it. So, but if you read the book, Feeling Good Together, and learn about the 5 secrets, oh my God, they're going to freaking love it. Read that book. But yeah, I agree. It's kind of insulting at times to fix it for them. Okay. It makes it seem like, shut up about your problems. Just suppress it. Let's fix this. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear you talk. I don't want to hear about all these emotions. Just freaking be quiet. It's kind of like the message it sends where you're like, let me just fix the problem. Why do we have to talk about it? Let's fix it. And I mean, that's more like the male way. Like they're not really given the space, it seems like, to go deep and process their emotions and talk about their emotions. But the female's way is we are. So we're expecting that from men, you know? So Lisa says, if a guy never shows vulnerability, that actually makes him look weak. This is subtle territory in a place that shows emotional maturity or lack of it. I completely agree. I agree. Because it's like, at a certain point, it's like, why are you scared to be vulnerable? It's strong to have the strength to be like, I don't care what anyone thinks. This is what happened, and I'm not ashamed of it. I accept myself. Yes, it shows kind of like emotional strength. Completely agree. But it is kind of subtle to like understand that, yeah. Um, so Hassam says, on a first date, when I like a girl, I automatically give her attention, try to flirt and touch her, which in turn lets the girl know that I like her, which gives her the edge. But when I don't like the girl, I give her nothing, which makes her attracted. Is this breakdown correct? Um, I mean, I think there's some truth to it in that, the more you kind of express like I'm into you, the more the girl feels kind of like relaxed and safe, and the more she feels like, oh my god, this guy's pulling away. If I want something from him, like, how am I going to get it? And she can become desperate. Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but that doesn't mean that on the first date you shouldn't try to flirt, touch her, let her know that you like her, because this is how first dates progress into second dates, third dates, fourth dates, and it's very normal, and that's how it's done. You can let her have an edge and she'll still find you attractive. You know what I mean? You can make her feel special and she'll still be like, I like this guy. It's not like the second she finds you, the second like she feels like she has an edge, she's just not attracted to you at all. I mean, I feel like that's a very like low self-esteem way of thinking about it. Like, for example, I'm watching The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, and the guys, they've got a lot going for them. They're all like elite looks maxers. They've all got like ripped abs, okay? They've all got like good understanding of the female gaze, really. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. They've all got good social skills. They were like professional athletes and stuff like that, okay? They don't have any problem making the girl feel like they're attracted to her and escalating in the normal way on the dates and giving her a lot of female gaze because they have a lot going for them. It's not like, oh my God, I have to like artificially pump up my value so that she likes me. Kind of like a lot of pickup artists. It's like, I notice they don't really have a lot of like looks maxing and stuff going for them a lot of times. So it's like they have to just resort to these kind of manipulative tactics of like, oh, let me make her feel insecure. And then she'll think I'm like higher value than her. But it's like guys who actually do have a lot going for them, they don't really need to resort to it because the girl wants them. The girl sees value in them already. So I would suggest just working on the looks maxing, working on your understanding, winning your game, and you won't have to play such a hardball game. You know what I'm saying? You can just relax a little because you know that women want guys like you, you know? So Lisa asked a very interesting question here. She says, Victoria, given how sympathetic you are to guys' issues, how much would you be willing to be with a guy that has a fair amount of growing to do if he really turns you on? Well, Lisa, that's a very interesting question that I sometimes think about because I go back and forth with that. Like Beardo, he had some growing to do, and sexually we had like amazing relationship, but I had to teach him a lot of stuff in my opinion about the female gaze. And then he kind of like got up to speed and now he's great. But yeah, like let's say we broke up. I don't know how much I could tolerate like a guy who just really doesn't get the female gaze at all, and he's just, I don't think I could do it, which is bad because there's not many people who do understand it. So what would you think? How would you answer your own question, Lisa? I'm curious. So Ian says, I once heard you say that a woman who has been with a lot of men is more valuable than a woman who has been with a few men. Do you think this is the case? I mean, okay. Do I think like a woman with 3 partners is more valuable than a woman with 1,000 partners? No, I don't think either is more valuable than any others. I mean, obviously, is one more valuable to guys who love virgins? Of course. Okay, because there's a lot of virgin lovers out there. There's a lot of guys who are like threatened by female sexuality or repulsed or feel like they can't compete with it or, intimidated by it even. But personally, I'm all for sex positivity. I think it's very good if a woman has explored her sexuality, she knows what she likes, she's picked up a few skills in bed, she's comfortable with herself, she has sex positive views, she likes sex. These are all very good things. So that's why I said that, in my opinion, a woman who's been with a lot of guys has a very valuable skill set, in my opinion. But, many guys are highly triggered by that. That's like the most shocking, mind-boggling thing they've ever heard in their entire life. They don't understand just how truly sex negative they are and just how bad it's going to be for them to get with a woman if they themselves have a high sex drive who doesn't have a high sex drive herself. I mean, you've seen the dead bedroom subreddit? Yeah, because you didn't get with a girl who liked sex. You didn't get with a girl who had a high sex drive. And guess what? People with high sex drives and people who like sex like having sex, and they're out there exploring and having fun and making use of the options they have and learning. And this is all a good thing. But, I feel like guys' minds are like exploding like around the globe as I say this. So Lisa says, Victoria, I struggle with it too. How much effort did you have to put into elevating Beardo? What were some of the pitfalls and wins you had with that? How long until you felt like it really worked? Well, Lisa, I had to teach Beardo how to hold space for basically any criticisms, problems, thoughts, feelings, vents. Oh God, it was wild. But I'd say he's kind of like an AI. Once he starts learning something, he gets very good at it very fast. So even with the female gaze stuff, a lot of it he didn't really understand. And when I started basically doing this channel, he started listening and watching my videos and coming on lives and stuff. He picked it up so good. And now I can't even tell fact from fiction because I'm he's too good. He's got the female gaze down so well that it's airtight. And I'm just do you even really think that? And he's like, yeah. So he got the female gaze down pat. He got how to be kind of emotionally validating and supportive down pat. Now he's amazing at it. Also, one problem we had is he would kind of just act really distracted a lot of times when we went out. He wouldn't really ask me a lot of questions. And that kind of really hurt my feelings at first. And then I kind of had to teach him about giving full presence, and he picked it up. And he was like, oh, I see. I was listening the whole time, but I wasn't showing you I was listening. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. And now he'll just come with a whole list of questions to ask me when we get out and topics of discussion. It's great. He just picked up a lot of amazing, in my opinion, female gaze relationship skills, which he didn't have. And he had some good stuff to begin with for sure. He had a very good baseline, but yeah, I had to teach him a lot. So, but the good thing is he started at a very good level. He always kind of took this masculine role. He always kind of put me on a pedestal in a way. He always made me feel just I was the one he wanted over everyone on planet Earth, and never made me feel insecure about that. So he did a lot of really good stuff that a lot of other guys, oh no, they were not there, or perhaps they didn't like me. which is probably the case, but yeah. But yeah, it's rough out there because a lot of guys need a lot of skills. However, I have met a lot of guys with a lot of great skills. So be what it says. How to train your man. Exactly. Thomas says, sorry, I'm way behind. Was talking about Beardo. Yep. What made you stick around when he had growing to do? Well, we always had like an insane sexual connection. We always had like a really fun time together, and we always had a great connection in bed. So I was kind of like, it's worth it. Levi says, hi, Victoria. Good to see you. Do you think Alan Roger Curry's Mode 1 is good for finding semi-casual, possibly emotionally profound, open-term sexual relationships? Well, Levi, I would definitely suggest you try it out, and do his method, you know? I would never tell you not to do it. Just try it. See if it works for you. So Joseph says, and Lisa, this will be a good pop quiz, everybody. Guys, Joseph, forgive me. We're going to use this as a pop quiz for everyone on the live, okay? Hope you don't mind, Joseph. All right, Joseph's question is, should I tell a woman at the gym who I want to ask on a date something I truly think? And here it is. You remind me of a girl I had a crush on in high school, only you're even more beautiful. Too strong? All right, guys, is this good or bad, and why? Get your answers in, and I already have my answer, but I want to see what you guys think. Be what it is. You're not blocked. Well, oh, somebody else did, but yeah, I can see you. All right, guys, get your answers in. Was it good or bad? Joseph's question. He says, you remind me of a girl I had a crush on in high school, only you're even more beautiful. Should he say this to a girl in the gym? Hey, you remind me of a girl I had a crush on in high school, only you're even more beautiful. Good, bad, and why? Good, bad, and if so, wait, how would I phrase that? Is it good or is it bad? And give your reasons. All right, guys. We got 30 more seconds. Get your answers in, good or bad. And why? All right. All right, let's read your answers in the chat. Lisa says, answer to Joseph, I wouldn't mention some other girl. Just tell her you think she is beautiful. Ah, the wisdom of the female gaze. Yes, Lisa, I completely agree. Don't mention this other girl. This is not a good thing to do. You don't say, oh, you remind me of this other girl. Then she's thinking, oh, was the other girl good looking or bad looking? Oh, I guess she was beautiful, but you're more beautiful. Okay. Yeah, the whole thing is just very bad. AM says it's too needy. DJ says, no, don't compare it to other women. JB says, don't compare it to other girls. Very good. Yeah. Joseph says, no problem. Go. Oh, okay. Yep. All right, Joseph. We're going to come down hard on you. Miami says, too strong. Bad. Tell her a year into the relationship so it means something, but at the onset, not good. Yep. I agree. Miami. And if you're going to tell her that a year into the relationship, make sure to emphasize that, but even more beautiful part, even more strongly than that. Levi says, wait. Vargan says, no, don't mention the high school crush again. She wants to feel unique, special. Yes, Vargan. Yep. A+ for you, Vargan. JB says bad. Yep. Levi says, depends on the delivery. If it comes off as needy, maybe bad. It's not the neediness that's bad about this, Levi, in my opinion. Hedney said, it's better to tell her she reminds you of your ex who you're struggling to get over. Oh, no, that's terrible, head and knees. That will win a lot of points. Oh, fuck no. You got to be kidding me. I hope that was sarcasm. An odd dejected distance says, I'm actually in a similar boat. I have an older coworker in her early 40s that seriously reminds me of the girl that got away from high school. Terrible. Don't say it. A lot of guys on my channel, they'll actually comment stuff like that, like, you remind me of an ex-girlfriend I dated way back when. I'm like, please don't fucking tell me that. I don't want to be compared to some girl. I don't know what she looks like. I don't know who she was. I'm nothing like her. This is not something I want to hear, okay? I don't like it. It just gives me like the heebie-jeebies. I don't want to hear it. I don't think a lot of girls will like hearing it. DJ says, I got it right. I want an A, Victor. You got your first A, DJ. Joe says, okay, thanks, everyone. That's why I asked. So glad I asked. It's very bad. It's very bad. Vincent Black says, it's not terrible, though, because you're complimenting her in a sort of casual way by mentioning the backstory. Oh, no. Oh, no. Levi says, is that she doesn't want the image of another woman to be in the relationship between you and her? That makes sense to me. It's just like, basically from the girl's perspective, in my opinion, let's read it one more time. And I'll try to like really put myself in the mindset. You remind me of a girl I had a crush on in high school, only you're even more beautiful. It's so male gaze. It's so male gaze because it's basically saying, hello, I am a man. I look around and I think about this girl who I had a crush on in high school. She was hot. You look like her. But, to be honest, I saw some flaws in her. She was kind of ugly, a little bit. She was hot, whatever, but you're more hot. It's just so male gazing that it kind of gives this impression of like, well, when I see a hot girl, I ask her out, but, there's other girls who are more beautiful. So if I see them, I'll probably like put you down and ask someone and say someone else is hotter. It's just so like, how do I describe it? I don't know. It's like, I'm a man always on the lookout for hot girls, which is what probably you are. And it's like, I rank them on a scale. And, this girl from high school was maybe like 7.9. She was beautiful, but you're like an 8.2. So, yeah, you caught my eye. I don't know. It's just it's gross. I don't like it. But because girls don't want to hear like more beautiful. They want to hear uniquely beautiful. Something about you is like different than any other girl in like a new way. They don't want to hear like, yeah, you're pretty much the same attractiveness as this hot girl in high school, but yeah, there were some flaws about her and you do them better. That's kind of how it comes across, in my opinion. It's just kind of like, ugh. So, what do you guys think? Lisa, what do you think? If she's still here, I don't know. We've been on here a long time, so she's probably gone, but. Russell Carrington says, well, you can even approach women in public situations, start a conversation first, then say, you look like a woman with good taste. I need feedback on my dating app photos. Be fun and playful. Yeah, that would be good, Russell Cameron. I like that. That's a great way to start a conversation with someone. Asking for their opinion or their feedback or their advice. That's something that women will definitely want to engage with. Be like that's something I definitely engage with. Like someone said, oh, I need your feedback on something. I'd be like, okay, hit me with it, So it's definitely a great way to start a conversation. So, yeah. Hello, Cyber LA. T. Coco says, what is your opinion on body count? Do you think that should matter in a future relationship? No, T. Coco, I don't. I really don't. And I think, like, if you're really concerned about it, it's a It's a sign. It's a warning sign that you're feeling insecure, that you're feeling like you can't compete, that you can't cut it, and that you need to work on your dating skills and your looks maxing so that it's not so threatening to you, in my opinion. Oh my God, T Coco, are you freaking kidding me? All right, guys. I'm getting pretty tired, so get your last questions in. Maybe we'll do one more quiz and then I've got to go. Maybe I'll give one person a rage bomb. Maybe I'll give one person a truth bomb. Whatever you guys want. If you want me to just go hardcore on someone I find annoying, why would you want that? Sometimes I just really enjoy that. It's so nice to have an outlet. All right. All right, guys. Here's one. Oh, JB. JB, I have to return your super chat. Oh no, JB, I can't do it. He super chatted me and he said roast me for $20. I can't do it, JB. I'm sorry. Take it back. How do I send the chat back? I'm looking. I don't think I can even do it. I can't do it. Thank you so much, JB. You were too kind, honestly. Oh, look at Lisa supporting my rage. She says, let it all hang out, Victoria. Your outlet is beautiful. You're so nice, Lisa. Mersaline says, I was very direct with the woman who gave me a compliment. I told her how hot she was. 2 days later, we were on a date. Nice, Mersaline. Amazing. How did the date go? T Coco says, I heard Andrew Tate talking a lot about body count. That's why I brought it up. Oh, yeah. It's not just Andrew Tate, right? It's the whole manosphere is up in arms about the body counts. Sage says this chat is funny, man. Yeah, it's getting wild in this chat. DJ says, save us from Andrew Tate, Victoria. It's like, I've just been seeing screenshots of Andrew Tate's Twitter. I'm like, is this guy for real? Or is he just a comedian at this point? Like, it's just so absurd. Oh, God. Eric Wong or Wang says, oh, yes, you believe in soulmates / twin flames. You know, I mean, do I believe like that some people are just so compatible? It's like incredible. Yes. Okay. Is that what a soulmate is in twin flame? And do I believe like some people kind of have just undeniable, almost like mystical chemistry between them? Yes. What do you think? Lisa says, Victoria, roast Andrew Tate. It's like, it's too easy to roast that guy. I mean, it's just, does he even need roasting? It's just a clown, really. But like, you've seen his Twitter, right? It's just unbelievable. All right, guys, this is going to be the most tricky female gaze quiz of the night. All right, this is a deep principle of the female gaze, okay, for this next quiz. All right, so agree or disagree with this statement and tell me your reasons why. Because if you understand this quiz question, you will understand something very deep, in my opinion, about women. All right? So, here's the quote, guys. Women are sexual slaves insofar as they are justifiably afraid to come out of the closet with their own sexuality. I added in the closet. All right, let me start it again without any. All right, here it is. Hopefully you didn't see that. Women are sexual slaves insofar as they are justifiably afraid to come out with their own sexuality and forced to satisfy others' needs and ignore their own. All right, guys, are women sexual slaves? Are they afraid to come out with their own sexuality? And are they forced to satisfy others' needs and ignore their own sexually in the bedroom? If you agree, why? If you disagree, why? Okay? Are women sexual slaves in any respect in the bedroom? Are women afraid to come out with their sexuality? And are they forced to satisfy others' needs and ignore their own? And if so, in what sense? This is the deep one. This is hard. This is like calculus level, okay? This is like nonlinear geometry or something. It's a tough one. So Russell Cameron Thomas says, disagree with the slave's characterization, even if other aspects have some truth. All right, so say more, Russell Cameron Thomas. Only Divergences says, agree, because of the way you said it. That's how you talk about things you agree with. Oh, he's reading me. All right, getting meta with it, Only Divergences. So DJ says, true, except the slave part. Women are perfectly fine on their own if needed. So, okay, so they're not slaves in your opinion. Joseph says, forced? Miami Comedian says, some women might fit that description, but some women are more confident and expressive. Michael Thomas says, disagree. Men are usually more straightforward in their communication, while women play things down, but then they get angry when you don't read their minds. If they need something, they have to say it. Well, there's some truth in what you're saying, but is it relevant to this quote, Michael? So then Vincent Black says, I kind of agree, but it's a lot harder for men to get sex than for women, so it makes sense. All right, you're going to have to explain that. I agree that it's harder for men to get sex than for women, but I don't see how that's like contradicting what this is saying. So Lisa says, she says, insofar as this is true, insofar as it goes, yes. That's the traditional truth for many women. I think this is why the celebration of sexually empowered women is so important. Indeed, Lisa, I agree. So, be what it says, as mothers, women have specific sexuality. As human beings, almost everything is on the table. Flawed question. You're going to have to explain that one. Be what it is. AH says, I agree, but I can't describe why. Joseph says, slaves implies against their will. Sage says, disagree. Levi says, generally, probably, because I think many or most men are undereducated on sexual nature. I think relatively few women are more comfortable and sexually empowered, though. Yes. I agree, Levi. IDK says, I agree. They are very afraid to come out. That is why they are so vague, misleading with their advice, needs, wants, desires. If they were truly open about what they like, want, need sexually, it's dangerous. I agree, IDK. Thomas Hogg says, respectfully agree. A says, I think men have too many mixed feelings about sexuality to really be considered straightforward. JB says, it's a hard disagree. Sage says, disagree. Russell Cameron says, a lot of women, especially young or less developed, are repressed in knowing and expressing their sexual needs, values, etc., but that doesn't make them slaves. I agree, but I disagree because I agree they're slaves in a different way. But I agree with you, Russell Cameron Thomas. So Floyd Runner says, girls are happiest most of the time when they are subconsciously led. Whether they are submissive or not isn't always obvious. Even if she doesn't know it, she likes being led. Oh my gosh. Floyd Runners, you're killing me. J.B. Weld says, women are always the choosers. Slaves never choose. Yes. Yes, I agree with you, JB. In some respects, they're not slaves, okay? In some respects, they got all the power. But in other respects, you might use the word slave to describe a different aspect. So thank you so much for your super chat, JB. And I see what you're saying. I see your point for sure. So then DJ says, women won't tell you their kinks. You need to pry it out of them. Unfortunately, this is true for many women. Michael Thomas says, well, the quote says that women are forced to be slaves and not have their needs filled. But in my eyes, they are not forced. It's due to incompetency. And this goes for men and women. Interesting. Vargan says, agree. Society doesn't see women's sexuality with good eyes. At the same time, women feel pressure to fulfill the stuff men see important, and their pleasure is not made a priority. I like your answer, Vargan. JB says, no, they are not slaves. Eric says, you skipped me. Eric, what did you say? I didn't see it. I'm looking back. I don't see it. Sometimes YouTube censors the chat. So I apologize. Just copy and paste it down below. If there's anything too explicit in there, maybe just use some asterisks. So Thomas says, Rand said something along the lines of she passionately believed in the sexual superiority of men. Yes, I have read The Fountainhead, and I skimmed Atlas Shrugged for the sex scenes. Beard always makes fun of me for that, but yes, she did. She was an alpha submissive, and she loved male dom, and it's a very kinky book, and she was a very kinky person. Let's be real. So, okay. So Freedom Fox 1 says, yes, and it's hard to fix because the nature of women's sexuality is less assertive by definition. Perhaps there's something to that. Floyd Runner says, women are not, but I'm not sure. Floyd Runner says, women are the most, words are the most powerful drug. Why do women accept oppressive labels? Like which one? Slave or what? Be what it is. It's a place of Lilith and Eve. Shit happens. Everyone's a slave at some level. Interesting, deep thoughts. Vargan says, in all, women may not have the courage to express their sexuality for fear of being judged, even by their partners. Only Divergences is reading me like a book. He says, please expand on what Floyd Runner says. Your reaction was something. Thomas says, I'm a slave for you, Britney Spears. Okay. All right. All right. So I will explain what I think about this quote, okay, and why I think it's important and why I think you guys need to learn from it. All right, guys. So women are sexual slaves insofar as they are justifiably afraid to come out with their own sexuality. In my opinion, this is true. Women are afraid to come out with their own sexuality. For example, me, okay? It was tough to come out with it. I remember before I made my first video about kinks and stuff, I was really I couldn't get it out. I refilmed it 5 times because I just was oh, I sound scared. I sound so insecure, my voice is shaking and stuff. It's scary. It's scary to be sex positive, kink positive in a very sex negative world, especially for women, where we've been told our whole lives, don't be a slut, don't be promiscuous, keep your body count low, men love virgins, and all this kind of ridiculous stuff. Okay? It's difficult. All right? And the most important part of this point is that women have sexualities. Okay? Women masturbate. Okay? Women fantasize when they masturbate, or a lot of them. Most of them do, really. And some watch porn or whatever. But how often are we kind of asking for what we want, getting what we want, showing men what we want, insisting in our hookups or one night stands or casual relationships, like, this is what I want, this is what I'm into, these are the kinks I'm into, this is how I like to touch myself, I deserve an orgasm too. Like, you guys heard of the orgasm gap. Because it's scary, because there's a lot of stigma still about female sexuality. Women aren't like touching themselves, even though the clitoris is basically their genital organ. They just accept PIV and, I should probably come from like a vaginal orgasm. I don't know why I can't. I'll just fake it. I'll just, pretend like it was good. I'll just like Mona Lasso thinks it's good. No, they need to be like touching themselves. They need to be stimulating themselves and stuff. And they don't. It's scary because that is basically you admitting as a woman, I'm like a man. I have like a small little like dick. I want it like touched. I want it rubbed. I have a very intense sexuality too. I deserve an orgasm. These are all very taboo things for women to say. It's not considered feminine. It's not considered like submissive. It's not considered like what women should be. So basically, women just keep their sexual desires in the closet. Okay? They're not loud and proud about it. There's no like pride for it. I don't know. Maybe there is. But they're still so hesitant to kind of demand their orgasm. They just accept it. They take it. They take like such a passive role a lot of times. It's very sad. So, yeah, I think it is a really big problem, and I think it's something women really struggle with. And if you understand that, I think you understand a lot about women. What do you guys think? Anyway, guys, well, hope you learned something tonight. Evan Wells once says some radical feminists are very anti-kink in this sense. Yes, I agree. There's definitely a split there. I mean, in feminists, basically people who are asexual, in my opinion, they don't really understand sex, and they don't understand how anyone could like it, and it just seems horrifying and disgusting to them. They're like, oh my God, why would anyone want this? Yeah, because they've never had the urge. They've never had like the biological urge to be into kink, be into violence or, abusiveness or misogyny or any kind of like taboo thing that just seems like horrible, because they never like get the sexual urge that goes along with it. So they don't understand at all. So they're just like, help, like let's save women from these horrible things. But then it's like the women are like, no, we like it. It's fun. It's good. It's consensual. So anyway, guys. Eric says, I think my response got filtered again, but I swear I got the answer perfectly right. And now I'll never get the validation I want. Oh no, Eric. Well, I didn't see it, but I trust you, and I'll give you an A+. Okay? You get that validation. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming to my live. If you guys want to learn more, read the book Becoming Clitorate. It is a great book. It can help you. Okay. And what else? What should be your homework? What should be your homework? I want you guys to think about a kink. Well, you probably already have this, but think about a kink that you would actually want to do with a woman. You probably already thought about it. But maybe think about, and if you want, you guys can email me and I'll tell you. This is going to be a hard one to get satisfied, but because I'm thinking once you guys get your dates, once you guys get in the bedroom, once you guys have sex once or twice, bring something spicy into the bedroom. Have something ready. Have something that you would want to try. that isn't just vanilla. All right, guys, have a great night. Only divergences. Aren't all kinks about power in some way? A lot of them are, okay. Power exchange, but kink is like an enormous umbrella and it contains a lot of things that aren't actually about power. Like some things are just about intense sensuality, and like intense sensation. Those can be kinks too. Or just something like fetishes. Colloquially, those can be under the heading of kink as well. All right, guys. Goodbye, everybody. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Shout out to JB, who super chatted me so much. Nani, my other super chatters. Let me find them all. Thanks for sticking around. Oh no, I can't find the rest of my super chatters. Well, I'll be able to see them later after. I know I had some new ones. Bargain says, Victoria, do you have a schedule for lives? No, I don't, guys. I'm so sorry. H says, what were you saying about your calendar? How do I get a session? I think I can just copy and paste here. Yep. There you go. If anyone wants a consultation, we can talk about whatever. Just click that link. My nonleatherlife@gmail.com. Lisa, thank you so much for your participation tonight. We got an extra female gaze, if you will, in the chat, giving us excellent feedback and perspective. Bye, guys. Goodbye, everybody.